Retake, this is big. He gets one and now has perfect vertical control. He'll swing out into pillar, looking for this gunfight, and he catches Mikey looking the other way. That's a quad kill from Bry.
Flies up the stairs. His teammate should be able to trade this. It's just an ump. Yet he gets a 3K with an ump, and he's got the stubby out. He gets 4. What in God's green earth just happened?
As Resync goes into the default plant by Tetris. No more C4 anymore from the Malusi, so he's gonna have to go drive, and he gets 4. What? Both these attackers rather low. There it is, but Twizzler was actually picked up in time. 12 seconds left. Vivid still needs this 4th hill. There it is through the wall.
After's just getting the bomb down. He doesn't care, but the impact downs him. They have to go for these kills. With 3 seconds left, Silent lands the pre-fire. Nobody can kill him in time. The ace from Silent. The 1v3, 2 for Mystic now. And we're 4-3, almost tied up.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I'm Crow, and I'm joined by Joe. Joe, I love you. And you and I, we get to cast the very, very last game of Swiss Stage, IF versus AAA, and this is looking to be a really exciting series.
Yeah, I actually do think it is. I mean, looking at the beginning of the stage, I don't think this is a position we really expected, AAA to be in at all. But hey, here they are, as we can see how it has shaped up to this point. Yesterday, we had a couple of games, Wichita Wolves beating out 6 Karma, and then, Vipers kind of getting the boot from Astralis. And I mean, kind of a crazy stage we've had so far.
Yeah, the Wichita Wolves game, especially, the fact that they were able to beat 6 Karma without JJ was huge. Fish has been fitting in really well with the roster. Dude dropped 41 kills in 3 maps. He is a absolute madman, and I'm sure he might be looking forward to maybe playing his old team IF should they win this game. All in all, though, I have to say, I think a lot of the results are pretty expected. The Wichita Wolves one, I think, is the only one that stands out to me as like, oh, hey, maybe we thought like IF or AAA or Vipers or 6K may have been in that position instead of them, but they're there, and we're left with a Challenger League team up against what a lot of people would consider to be the best T3 team. But Joe, if Arial ACAD don't win this game, that title might end up going to the Wolves.
Yeah, and I mean, well, Harry, let's not forget S2 exists. S2 does exist.
That too.
Yeah.
Dude, they're so good. I forgot they were T3.
Yeah,
they're so good. I forgot they were T3.
It's true.
What can I say?
It's true. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely on the brink of kind of losing that title right now. And, definitely an absolutely heartbreaking loss to even be in this position in the first place. I mean, Uzi kind of had his Canadian white stairs moment, towards the end of that game. Tough one for them. And they find themselves, back against the wall once again, which, like we said, this isn't familiar territory for them. Like, they've lost more series in this stage alone than they have in their entire existence. So, like we said, not a familiar really place for them to be, but they did bounce back off of their last loss quite nicely. And to be honest, I'm thinking they might do the same today.
We'll have to see, of course. Their opponents are Investigation File, and these guys are in a bit of a rebuilding process right now. They lost their primary entry of Fish and having Fens join up with CZ, Inrio, Wimpy, and Arrow. Now, the bright side is they have a positive rating average, that 1.01, just narrowly above that threshold, mostly in part to CZ. CZ has been an absolute terminator so far for IF. Really good to see him do this well, because in Challenger League, there was always that running joke, if CZ was on stream, he wasn't going to do great, but right now, I mean, he's plus 29 on the KD, Joe. He's 83 and 54. Inrio has also been doing tremendously well, 65 and 50, but no one else on the roster has really been consistent enough up there with them.
Yeah, especially losing Fish. That's a lot of frag power. It is something nice to see. However, positive from it is since getting rid of Fish and bringing in Fens, they may have lost that frag power. You have guys like Inrio stepping up. Wimpy has been playing a little bit better, but at the end of the day, their system looks pretty good right now. For the most part, a lot of the times we'd be watching them in their first couple of games and it just didn't feel like they were on the same page. Whereas now, even though Fens isn't really grabbing any of his kills at all, they seem to have mostly an idea of what they want to do. And speaking of Fens, he is our highlight player. I mean, look, like I just said, that system is looking better with him in, but against a team like Arial Academy, he has to step it up today. I don't think that they can afford him to have another lackluster performance if they want to really sniff out the playoffs. So he's kind of going to be the big, the really big deal. But that big number that I'm looking at is that entry. IF, they look a lot better when they get that opening pick. It's just, how they do it. But, losing Vivid, he does go back to coach. They kind of don't have that mid-round adjustments that you really like to see, so that when they run into that roadblock, that obstacle in the middle of the round, we see them kind of not able to make the greatest adjustments. So that's kind of going to be the big thing today. If they can win that entry battle, it's going to look a lot better for them, where, if they don't win it, they're going to struggle to really just make any adjustments.
Because that guy who was the one to vault those roadblocks you just get in was Fish. But now, you're going to have CZ and Inrio who don't have that kind of play style, have to step in that position. That's really where they need Fens. I mean, because Fens had a pretty decent first game performance, right? He went 15-17, and then the next game went 8-23. So we're going to have to see game one Fens show up, and probably even better against a team like Arial Arise Academy, whom all 5 players are known as really good gunners. I mean, if there's anything these kids do well, it's hit their shots. Spiker, Ashen, Ambi, Uzi, and Neo, a 1.04 average rating. But something that's really struggled is their attacks. Down there at 44%. Of course, that aggressive play style, a lot easier on the defense. You talked about Uzi kind of having his white stairs moment. Ambi, despite losing, had a hell of a series yesterday. Neo's been stepping up pretty well. And something that was really shocking, I think, was Spiker's performance. He was the highest rated player of this roster going into that game, and he kind of fell flat. It was a really uncharacteristic bad performance from him, going across the series 15-26, I think. And something else that I think someone else who I think needs to really step up is Ashen, right? Especially with Fens not doing great, this is the perfect time for a guy like Ashen to strike. And the roles he's on, I don't think allow him to do that, right? His most played operator is Ace. He's still kind of let loose on the defense. The defense is really where Ashen shines. But I don't really know why he's been taken off the aggressive role, right? Ambi tends to play a lot of supporting operators, though he flexes back to entry once in a while. Usually Spiker would be the other guy on the support with him, but they've kind of relegated Ashen to another kind of mixed support and sometimes entry role, and I think it's hurt him because he's still getting in the same amount of entry engagements. As you can see, 14 and 17, that is a hell of a lot, but he's not winning them nearly as often as he used to.
I mean, looking at Ashen's stats specifically as well, those numbers on the right are not something we're accustomed to seeing at all. Ashen is one of those players that really, ever since he broke out into the top of T3, he has been the guy. He's been the one that really just dominates in every single facet of the game. And to see him kind of struggling is, to me, the main catalyst of where they are. Another thing really from that LG game is, it's not just him. Spiker did this a lot. Just a lot of guys on this team. We're seeing them make uncharacteristic, mistakes. We see them giving up a lot of picks that they don't normally give up. And, it definitely, they got punished by it. From LG, there were a lot of times where we literally sat there and we were like, Arial ACAD really outplayed them the entire game. It's just Asian. Every opportunity that he had. Oh my God. He took advantage of the mistakes that were being made, and that's not something we're used to seeing from this group. And I think they get a little bit of a pass today. I don't really think there's too many people on this IF, team that can really do what Asian did to them just a few days ago. But if IF has all 5 of their players shooting today, that system really can compromise the mistakes that Arial Academy have been making over and over again.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you that, if IF's system is working and if Fens is fragging, CZ and Indra have been incredibly consistent. I think that's going to be their best chance to take out AAA. If not, then AAA definitely have the advantage. Theme Park and Border being IF's first couple bans. AAA, they like Theme Park, and I wouldn't want to take these 5 guys to Border either. Bank is a good IF map. AAA, not comfortable on Skyscraper either. And our first 2 maps are Clubhouse and Chalet. 2 maps that we just saw Arial play. So IF have incredibly recent footage of this, and they definitely do their homework. They also played Clubhouse recently, and unlike the Max OT loss AAA suffered, they beat Arial on it 7-4.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, it's interesting for me to see IF ban Theme Park. I know they don't like it, but they had such a good performance on it in their last game, so I kind of wish they left that up for a little bit longer. But to me, looking at these maps pretty heavily favor Arial Academy. I mean, Clubhouse, it's a map that, they should have won against LG. Chalet, I mean, it's historically been a really good map for them. It also is a, pretty comfortable map for IF as well. And then Villa, I mean, also not a great, fantastic map from IF either. So, I don't necessarily like the maps coming out if I'm an IF fan, but I mean, if I'm an Arial Academy guy, I'm, foaming at the mouth. I'm ready to get into this series. It's just, it's just perfect maps. And yeah, I mean, I think that's the tail of the tape at the bottom right there.
John thinks IF is going to win.
He does. I mean, I think it's possible. I think it's very possible.
I do too, yeah.
I just don't think it will.
Yeah, especially now, now looking at the maps, my confidence in AAA, like you just highlighted, is even greater. I think IF's best chance at winning a map in this series is their map, the opening map of Clubhouse, considering, they won it against Arial. AAA, well, Arial main team, I should specify. AAA just lost it to LG. I mean, there's 15 rounds of VOD footage that IF saw and plenty of AAA holes to poke at. But Chalet, AAA, unlike having holes on Clubhouse, they looked watertight. They 7-2'd LG, and LG are, an incredible team. It's been a good map for IF, but I think but that was with Kento. I think more recently, it's a bit shakier. And Villa, AAA haven't played since they lost it to JJ, I think.
Believe so, yes.
They haven't played it since they lost it to JJ. It was still a really close game, Max OT, but IF got kind of smoked on it by a struggling Arial roster. They lost that 7-3. So I think IF can definitely take this first map, but I think it'll be 2-1 AAA. That's what
I just think they have to take this first map, plain and simple.
That too.
And I mean, the Wichita Wolves guys have been historically very good on Villa, Riot, Bry, Twizzler, that team. So I don't hold too much weight. It's also a best of one, but either way, I mean, this has to be an IF map if they want to win this series. They have to get this done. And like we talked about, that system is going to have to really set itself in place at the beginning of this game, because the longer it takes them to really, get it figured out and get it really implemented into this game, the tougher it's going to be for them really to just get it to win. And, obviously, like we said, all 5 players need to bring their A game today. They're shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot. we have a good one today.
Yeah, I think especially, too, on maps like Chalet and Villa, where I think AAA can kind of get freaky on. Clubhouse is a map where I think it's a lot easier to control the defense as an attack, at least. So, IF, I agree, really need to take this map. Although, as much as IF can review AAA can also review themselves here and figure out what exactly was going wrong, because it's not like AAA had these massive gaping holes in their defenses and attacks, and they were just getting the floor wiped with them. There were these tiny itty bitty minor mistakes that was letting, in the last round, LG in, but in most of the rounds, just Asian. It was this small little mistake, and then Asian would creep on through the crack and then blow up AAA from the inside out. And without Fish, I don't think IF have that guy.
Yeah.
Unless Fens, overnight, is now a Terminator, I don't know if IF have that guy.
I mean, I don't think they do either. And like we touched on earlier, their kind of problem is, when they run into those roadblocks, they kind of struggle to find those adjustments. So, being able to capitalize on those kinds of mistakes is going to be tough from them just because, that's their main struggle. And if that's, the main problem with Arial and that's your main struggle matchup wise, a little bit of a nightmare, you ask me. But it kind of just depends on how this game goes out. And I think, a couple rounds in, we'll have a pretty good idea of how this game will kind of shape out. I think, personally, if it's a close game, I think IF will be able to do what it takes to win. I think Arial has shown, lacks of composure, which is, like we said, strange to see from them. But otherwise, I think it's just going to be a dominant win from Arial. I think just going to kind of, assert themselves in ways that we've seen behind. So, or in the past, I should say. So that's just my opinion, though, on this game. That's just my thoughts.
We'll see if you're right. I believe we have all the players in lobby. We have an R from Arial. Come on. Waiting for IF. They haven't responded yet. All right. You know what else we can talk about?
What
Joe,
can we talk about?
as a previous Challenger League player for Nemesis GG. What are your thoughts on Solus, and how many of the 3 maps do you think she's going to be banned on? Because both teams have used her.
Yeah, I mean, she's just very powerful, and I think, to me, it's an operator that I'm a fan of, but I'm also not a fan of, just because she is so powerful at the moment, which makes it not great. But I also think that, she's just as powerful as the one using her. I think she has great uses, and I think it still requires game sense to be able to to be able to make plays off of, that information that you get. You gotta have a good player. You have to have, good hands. So, to me, I think it really just depends on how these teams really like to utilize her, or if they even want to deal with it at all. I think a map like Chalet, she's very powerful on, so I don't think we'll see her on that map. And if we do, I think teams will really, heavily favor or heavily play their defenses like that. But we're not on Chalet. We are on Club, and I think she'll stay up on this map. Personally, I think she'll stay up. Could be wrong, but I think she'll stay up.
I think Clubhouse too. Like she is universally a really good operator, but I think Clubhouse is not a map where you need to ban her. I think she's not necessarily more effective, but she can be a lot more detrimental to an attack on Chalet or Villa. But Thatcher and Hibana being our first couple bans, these are well, the Hibana, less so, but these are okay, but now with the Mira, these are old Clubhouse
Those are some
bans.
old school stuff.
Yeah, Thatcher, despite having secondary EMPs, his ban rate has definitely been a lot lower. Wow, okay, what are we in year 4?
Yeah. Well, I mean, all right, let's not go too crazy. I mean, this was pretty similar about 9, even 6 months ago.
That's true.
Let's not get too crazy. I mean, these have kind of been default bans for a hot minute. But something I would like to say is that Azami is left on the board.
That too.
Azami is very powerful on Clubhouse. So excited to see her come out. I mean, we kind of do see her pretty often in general. Just because a lot of teams don't like playing against a Mirror, don't like playing against a Valk. But interestingly enough, and I'm assuming this will stay because it's a basement attack, they have a Jackal. And Jackal, I could be completely wrong, but I feel like we don't see Jackal very often at all on this map. Just at all.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. I don't think we really see Jackal a lot, in general, unless it's Bank. Jackal is not kind of a meta operator anymore. However, I do know AAA lean into him a lot. They're one of the few teams that will be willing to bring a Jackal on almost any map, especially if they know the other team is roaming. With guys like CZ and Wimpy, you see the Azami and the Mute. They are setting up the roam, but Neo opting instead of the Jackal. He's going to go for the Lion instead, and I think that is a better pick, especially on Clubhouse, because there's not a lot of rat spots on Club where a defender's just going to kind of sit in a corner. Even though Club is a bigger map, you know, 3 floors, kind of wide. It's not really a rat map. I don't think the Jackal is all too necessary, and with how fluid IF sometimes are in their roams and in their system, I think the Lion's a good pick.
I think it is as well. I mean, he has the EMPs as well, which is
That
so
too,
powerful.
yeah, to counter the Cade.
Absolutely. I mean, you need something to be able to get rid of it because, you know, you're not bringing a Mav. So if they decide to really do, you know, a kitchen hatch or anything like that, the wall, for instance, the church wall, I want to get rid of that as well. Uzi already taking some early damage as well. And Arial are opting to clear this, but I feel like it's a little interesting, you know, the Jackal could help to really find out information on those cuts, but an aggressive clear is what I see coming out from them, and it really is coming out. That line call already coming out, Harrison, and I mean, Arial wasting no time in trying to get in.
I don't know what Uzi was typing in. Did you see that? Yeah, I have no idea what that means.
It wasn't English.
Definitely not. Maybe, well, I was going to say maybe he like fat figured his chat key, but I don't know why he would have been hitting M. But either way, AAA have the Jacuzzi breach open. About a minute 15 in, but IF have the first kill. CZ left unchecked and Cerber peeks the window, takes out Spiker. Arrow with the next as Ashen falls, and they've lost their sledge. No more Vert, and they've lost half their hard breach with Ambi already an exothermic down.
Yeah, and they're going to have to really make a decision here. They're only going to be able to open one thing. I'm not sure if that bar hatch is open. I believe it was. But that triple wall is going to be really tough to get open at the moment. I mean, having an ace for that ranged hard breach to be able to get that wall open is such a really nice thing to have, and they're not going to have that anymore. And a minute left on the round, and still a lot of work to be done, but that blue hatch is also soft, so I guess that hard breach isn't necessarily going to be the worst thing. They're able to get a lot of this stuff open, and it looks like they're going to try and flood through blue here. Ambi probably going to drop that bar hatch, but this main play is going to be through blue, but that Azami does make it a little difficult, and Harrison, it's still going to be really tough for them to do anything right here.
And with Neo just hammering away at it, CZ's going to turn around, but he does lose the fight. Another kill comes in for Uzi before he's refragged, but now your main player is dead, and Leo's alone. Coming down that oil pit hallway, he's stuck there. Wimpy dusts him, and IF take round number 1 after killing that primary hard breach. Well, killing one of the 2 hard breaches, and then just stopping the blue flood.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great round coming out from IF. A great start to this game. I mean, they kind of matched it with a little more aggressive, and it was great, but we see Uzi having some problems. But I don't think that necessarily had anything to do with the round. I mean, IF had a couple of picks really early. They found them. CZ, you know, found those holes once again. And Arial, I mean, losing 2 important operators that early on a clear is tough. But I do like that clear as well. Clearing only that Jacuzzi side, only that master side, up to that con point. We see that more often now than we have in the past, where, you know, you just clear up to con, set up those flanks, and then start working, you know, kitchen, start working bar, you know, get all that done. But, you know, they lose those 2 operators really early, and, you know, not a great start from them. And IF, they're doing what we want to see from them. You saw kind of everybody, actually, you do see everybody get in on the action, a little bit of a team ace for this first round. And we said it, if they can all shoot, if they can all get on it, you know, realistic possibility they can win this game. And this is the map they need to win. And I mean, we'll see if they can keep it up.
A team ace, too. I didn't even realize. Every single person on IF chiming in there. And AAA make an immediate adjustment. They take Monty. They've still got the double hard breach. I like that it's Neo playing it. Neo and Ambi. Having Ashen get back on that Ash. You can duo entry with Uzi. And we all know Spiker's main focal point will be rafters as soon as Ambi gets this wall open. But they have to contend with the bandit trick. Those EMPs, the secondary EMPs that Spiker has, are not going to be enough unless they have someone to support. Unless the bandit's just going to run away, which they might be calling out. Oh, they're going to double hard breach it. So even though the exothermic charge gets tricked, the Selva's there to back it up. They
How does he get out alive?
Sort of deny the bandit trick, but there's also an impact to back it up. So the wall may be open, but you can't move through it.
They also have to play on that plat to even be able to peek it. It's a head hole, so that repel is not going to really be able to help out at all. Ambi's, you know, he still has one left. You can probably get this wall open if he wants at one point, but you're going to have to play on that plat, and that's a pretty easy gunfight to take if you're a defender. So Uzi trying to hold right here. CZ, a beautiful shot to start off the round. Once again, an opening pick for him, and Spiker just walking at him to see the beauty of Monty. He's just walking at CZ right here, and CZ has so much to worry about right now. He does get taken down, and that's just a tough one to really see. And IF already a little bit in trouble this round, but the Monty just looking great.
Replacing the shield on top res so that Inrio can deny the breach walk-in from Ambi. Spiker maybe also having a tough time getting into Garage itself unless he has a hard breacher with him. No, Neo's out of Selma, so they'll opt to open the soft wall, which is a little more exposed than if they were to open the hard wall. Luckily, Spiker gets in with no problem. Wimpy does have a C4 that he could perhaps rotate downstairs to use. Fens might be going under to clear the way, or flank oil pit / swamp. Spiker calling out there's no one actually in the bomb sites themselves. And there's the rotate downstairs from several players. They know that the only way they're taking out this Monty was a C4 from below. Wimpy gonna send it up. Wait for the call from his team. They're being very patient. Wimpy cannot expose himself. He's 1 HP, beautiful. And there it goes, but it doesn't kill the Monty. It takes out Ambi, but Ashen responds with 2 more kills of his own. Neo chimes in, and now it's a 1 versus 2. Wimpy actually knifes the Monty, but in the end, doesn't matter. Clearly, the Arial members very confused by that. I am too. It looked like he
got his leg, perhaps?
Knifed the shield?
His calf?
I have no idea, but Arial still win it.
They do. That was it got a little close right there. You noted it. They needed to get that Monty with that C4, unable to do it. You know, they got one with it, but they didn't get the actual kill that they needed and hurt them in that round. The Monty really coming up clutch for them, and they are switching it. They are going to gym, and it had to be the calf. It's just, it had to be.
I do like, I do think CZ did everything he could.
Attackers need to locate and
because CZ's always going to be that death spot player, right? Especially Raptors. Raptors like his domain. The fact that he even killed Uzi there was remarkable. Unfortunately, there was more backup for Spiker. And really, once Arial took that Raptors control with the Monty, and then, like you said, or like we said, missed the C4 kill, round was pretty much over. IF, I like that they're continuing to switch the sites, not replaying anything. They'll go to gym. And something we didn't highlight either with the classic mans. We talked about the defenders that are left up, but Nook has also been left up.
That is true. We've kind of forgot about her, it feels like, from the FMG nerfs, from, just everything in general. She's not really brought as much, but we know how powerful she can be. She can be so dang powerful and really just get the rounds completely. I do expect them to go a little bit below to try and work really anything, but I mean, I'm not quite sure what they necessarily want to do, and I think IF is doing a good job at kind of really just extending out the entirety of the map. It's kind of the default hold, but they're extending kind of everywhere right now to try and contest everything, not giving anything up too early. And Arial just now starting to figure out what they want to do.
Ooh, that Kiba barrier on the drone hole is gonna stop the nades. You can melee.
So
I didn't even know you could melee like that. That's crazy. So the nade's gonna come through to try and deny the bandit trick, but unfortunately, Wimpy chooses the wrong side of the wall. Ashen gets the lead-off kill for the first time for AAA. Arrow hits the floor. Luckily, he's Jaeger. His utility's already down. And I'm wondering where they're putting Neo. He started kind of by Freezer's side. I think the play is that he was going to try and walk kitchen and nade into logistics, but he's just been really lit up. He's got to be careful. Some vertical angle, I think, just started to take him out. Inrio, I believe, also safe. I think that's a hard floor in gold, isn't it?
It is. But
what the hell?
Throwing up. Wow. The thing just blew up on impact. Right. Oh, he got it down. So that's going to stall things a little bit. Wimpy getting really aggressive right there. And CZ ends up getting a pick back. He's put down to 1 HP, but I mean, they have just control now. Wimpy is stuck. They know he's there, I think. Yeah, they do. He crosses. What? He makes it, and he swings. Harrison, he is just beasting up right now. Not a care in the world.
I can't. Dude, not only did he get away, but the madman re-peaked. Like, what? And he didn't die.
He wants all the smoke.
This guy, he's still challenging off the gas canister from Inrio. It's well timed. He's got 2 left with 50 seconds remaining. He's got to figure out how to stall this breach, especially with 2 AAA players looking to come up the main stairs. That's Neo and Ashen, but one of them dealt with by the gas canister. Impeccable smoke play from Inrio. Fends another. Wimpy holds on to the breach, and that leaves Ashen by himself on the main stairs as every other avenue from this defense has been shut down. Wimpy with the last kill as well, and IF retake the lead.
That utility usage from IF was just perfect. Just in every way. Inrio on a smoke, which is, I feel like, not somewhere we typically see him. And he's just using those smokes round in, round out, pretty much to perfection. Even on the CC round, he did a great job of stalling. And, you know, we see him back on that smoke again. And once again, though, that C4 coming out great. And the crossfires were just there. Wimpy really making the difference right there, just from weaving in and out everywhere, just covering so much ground, taking so many gunfights, and not being punished for it. And that creates a lot of space for the rest of IF to work, and they take full advantage of that. And now 2-1 lead. Going back to CC, however, which is an interesting one.
Especially after they had church selected, and I already wrote it down. And then
That's
they
tough.
changed it.
Pencil or pen?
And
That's tough.
I used pen.
That's tough. It is more
But in
visible,
response to Cash, Spiker's gonna retake the Monty, and IF have adjusted. Legion, Monty's worst nightmare. Because when you get that thing stuck in your foot, that goo mine, you have to back off and take it out, and that drops the shield. Otherwise, you're just going to continually take more and more damage, and CZ will, of course, be playing Rafters, where the Monty is looking to push. So he's going to have some solid backup to either with drones to spot out those goo mines, or have someone destroy them for him, because this Legion could completely halt the Monty push by himself.
He could, but
They just didn't account for the bandit trick.
forgot,
What?
I guess.
That
That he
IF
was there.
played like every round.
I was gonna say the Azami switched off is kind of tough because I think she makes Garage so much harder to take, and she allows, you know, that player in Rafters to swing whatever he wants. And they don't have the Azami this time. It is great to have the Legion, but without that, you know, Azami, it's gonna be tougher.
Oh,
Them
they
to do it.
mistimed it.
Oh, he just did. I mean, Wimpy just timed it so well, but that's the other Thermite going down. And they only have 2 ace charges to work with, Ashen taking damage, and this is just a utility disaster to start this round off.
And Ashen can't even get the pick downstairs. Arrow swings his red stairs, domes the Ash, and I gotta wonder if Ashen's play was to go downstairs, why did he not just breaching round under that bandit? There you go, deny the bandit trick. Either way, I mean, the play from Arial was to EMP and then double hard breach, but they mistimed it. When that ace throws the Selma, you need to be in your animation as a Thermite, but because they were so spread out, you saw it. Wimpy was able to find both and completely lock down this breach. Now it's up to AAA to make an opening somewhere else, and that opening might have to be Garage. You see several players starting to push in. The Thermite now in Swamp. The Monty very afraid of the goo mines. The Thermite has to shoot them in front of him. That might expose Ambi enough for an opportunity to get a pick, but there's Neo with the backup. CZ's now dead, and the Monty successfully pushed into Rafters.
After gassing up Inrio's smoke usage, he throws that one. And they do get the wall open now if they want to. That ace is going to get the CC wall open. 45 seconds. They have a couple of smokes to work with. They have a C4 to work with. A couple of impacts if you want to just huck those things out as well. But you do see someone on that CC window who could lurk over to Khan whenever. And information starting to go out. 30 seconds. Time running out here, Harrison.
Is he going to jump in?
He's going to have to. If he times this right, it's going to be so tough.
The Monty jumped in. There was no one watching the window. Monty's in. He's pressuring red, but Ambi's on the floor. Fens finishes Uzi. Spiker's trapped in a gas canister. He's got no help. He's got to go on the hunt. Melee's won. But now Neo's alone. He goes for the res. 10 seconds remaining, and he's back in sight with that case. Ambi has to have perfect cover. He sees the Jaeger, dodges the shot, goes back in, takes the fight with Wimpy, loses it, and it's 2 for the Bandit. Utility burn and kills for Wimpy, and he almost single-handedly shuts down the round.
Wimpy did great to be able to do that, and I mean, Arial make it pretty close given the circumstances of how the early round went. Close round, but IF doing what they need to do to win the round again. And once again, it's off of the back of utility. Inrio, smoke's coming out. He ends up downing that's Monty from Spiker, pushing up red. Even though he does get traded out, he kills that Monty, which is a big pick. Wimpy downs Ambi with that C4 and then finishes that kill off later. Gets another one, and it's just the back of utility. It's over and over again. They're doing their job with it, and there are players on Arial struggling right now, and Ashen, we see him doing good work over here, but it's just right now not enough, and IF playing some pretty good Siege right now.
We talked about Fens having to be that guy to step up, and he's certainly performing admirably, 3-1, but right now it's Wimpy, 7-1, not only on the Bandit, tricking that utility, but getting the kills as well, and IF's system is working beautifully. AAA have not had a concrete answer to all the utility systematically being thrown at them. And now they need a solution on what a lot of people consider to be the best site on the map. Otherwise, they'll be in an early 4-1 hold, and no one wants to be there. Arrow on the roam, along with CZ and Wimpy up top. Drones coming in do confirm the Cade's position. It's going to be able to gather more info because Arrow is currently unable to shoot it. There's someone just on the other side of the strip wall. That's Ashen, waiting for a call from the team. Meanwhile, the rest of the team upstairs looking to clear this roam on the top floor. Ambi getting the hard breach down. Nothing to stop him this time. And Arial Academy look to pressure out Wimpy, but Fens is joining him from the top stairs.
Yeah, and they're taking a little bit more time, and IF look more ready for it this time. The drone's going out. They do know it's clear, but I mean, they're doing a good job at kind of playing the space right now, kind of backing up. They know exactly what the take is right now, and they still have bar presence. They still have con presence. As I say that, those players are going to fall off a little bit. There is a player in bottom garage, though, and I'm not sure that they're aware of that.
Fens just took some damage. It may have been from the bottom garage player. I couldn't quite see, but he's since rejoined the defenders on site. So has Arrow. The other two, I think, yeah, still on the roam. CZ's finally going to make his way down the red stairs, but there's no cutoff. Not on Wolf, not on Secret Window. He gets down for free. The attack at the very least spots it, but Arrow goes huge with a double C4. Not only knocking that sledge off the board, removing most of the attacker's ability to perform vertical play, but also that ace, again, the ranged hard breach, who is so crucial in opening up that church wall. Inrio's shield is down, to be sure. That's a great boon for this attack, but they still have yet to crack anything else on this site.
No needs to work with either. They have players all over the place. Ambi does get one onto Wimpy. He takes a lot of damage, but Uzi just walking up the hallway. Inrio ends up hopping through that rotate, but not before Uzi finds another one. 3v2. They do know this player is inside of dirt, but I mean, that smoke, once again, brilliant, and Ambi down to 1 HP. Has to find a way to get a kill or two more, and
what?
Does get just that. Inrio smoked on that. The bomb going down.
What?
Black Neo gets another one all down to CZ. He finds the kill. Ambi on 1 HP. Going to start putting bomb down, but the time is ticking. CZ knows where this bomb is going down. Ambi stuck in that corner. CZ knows just that. The Deagle comes out. He finds a way to win it. IF 4-1 up. I can't believe that round got so close, Harrison, but they find a way to close it out again.
Off the back of the double C4 from Arrow. I mean, really opening the round. Had that C4 not happened, we could see something completely different. More coverage from the hatch, a better execute from AAA. Probably that church wall open, disabling Inrio, playing on that close wall, not able to get the refrag on Uzi because the attackers could watch it from bottom main. That double C4 spiraling. The attack had a huge resurgence. A great recovery in that mid round. Able to just bully their way in and find the frags. But Ambi sticking himself behind Black Box because he was 1 HP. He could not risk crossing to the minibar. A much safer spot to play. And that trapped him in the corner. Easy pickings for CZ, even with that Deagle. And IF on that dreaded 4-1 advantage. If AAA don't take this attack on Jim, then the map might be lost.
I mean, we do know how good Arial is on this map, and IF still do need to find out how to make this same entry and early round success work on their attack. So we get there when we get there. You know, we don't want to say too much too early, but IF doing what they need to do to find success in this map, and a little bit of struggle on the setup. I'm assuming Inrio doing a bit of a struggle on getting that shield down on the bed, but IF, you look at the scoreboard right now, and it's the players that we wanted to see step up that are doing just that right now. And Arial, the players that we wanted to see step up, are doing that. The problem is everyone else just took a dip in performance so far, and these players are going to have to try and figure this out before it gets too late.
Uh-oh. Bandit trick coming out, but Ambi does not go for it. More flashbangs. A nade likely to follow, I imagine. What?
This
I
utility
don't really
is
know what
tough
the
right
play
now.
was there. There's no EMPs, so they're going to have to nade this bandit. I
He's out
love
of
that. By
nades.
the way, I love that Kiva barrier on the waiting rack. Pretty much denies the angle from the gym window to stop that bandit trick. Even though the window's getting open, there's no phantom pressure there. Wimpy's going to be safe. Uzi's out of nades. Neo and Ashen still have their full sets in their pockets, but someone's going to have to rotate and assist Ambi because we're a minute 44 left in the round, and this breach is still not open.
Yeah, the utilities, once again, uncharacteristically not working out for them right now, and that's another nade going out from Neo, not finding much of anything right now, and IF kind of sitting pretty right now, and they're just going to completely switch their push. Arrow, I'm not sure. He knows his player's on red. He doesn't. 2 kills going out.
Oh!
A third. Neo finding 2, and out of nowhere, this round just turns on its head. Inrio and Wimpy are going to have to pull out some magic here.
Wimpy taking the peek, downing Spiker all the way outside, and he can play in short because the breach is closed. He hears the shots from that sledge as Inrio gets another playing in Logi. The pre-fire from Wimpy finally successful as Inrio assists, and we're back to even man count. 2 versus 2. There's a cam on Uzi. He takes a shotgun blast to the chest, but Wimpy can't finish the kill. Uzi picks it up. Now Inrio's stuck in logistics. They know where he is. He's got to take out one of these players and isolate the ones. He knows Uzi's main. Ambi waiting for his teammate. Doesn't want to give up the 1v1s that Inrio is looking for, and things now slowed down. AAA don't want to get ahead of themselves. They were up 5-2, and the advantage has slipped. They've got pings. They've got info. Inrio swings. Domes 1. 3 kills for him. All he's got to do is kill Ambi, but Ambi's looking for the refrag. They've got a red ping. He can't win the pixel just yet. Does damage to Inrio, but it's no kill. Now he's prone with a shotgun, but he gets up. Ambi times the swing perfectly, and AAA steal the round.
It was almost the magic right there. It was almost the magic. Some shaky shots coming out here and there, but Inrio doing so much to pull that round back, just not able to close it out, and a much-needed round win from Arial to kind of get something from those attacks, and that utility usage from them, not great. Not great coming out, but Wimpy and Inrio try their darndest, and it's just a tough round to lose when it got oh so close, but kind of expected to where we are, 4-2 now for IF, and like we talked about, they have to figure out how to make their attacks work.
Especially with that opener and cash. I think that's what we really needed to see from AAA. Like, their whole attacking round. Just get dirty with it. Get down and dirty. Make a crazy play like Neo did, just walking up red and frying 2 people. That's where AAA thrives. If they play into IF's system, then you let IF control the pace in the round, and a team like AAA falters. Now they're on the defense. Much easier to control the pace and control the round on this side. Something else that I noticed is IF did not play Solus once. AAA immediately going to bring her as part of that triple drone denial threat. No Vigil. Instead, they have Solus teaming with that Mute and the Mozzie on the roam to make sure that IF's clear is going to be as slow as they can make it, but could potentially be counteracted by Fenn's sticking the Jackal.
Yeah, he does stick the Jackal. They're gonna really try to get rid of this roam as efficiently as possible. And I like how they are doing something different from what Arial ACAD did. Arial ACAD doing that complete push from the Jacuzzi side, and that's not what IF is doing at all. They're focusing this garage side, which, you know, if you want to clear the map fully, that's going to be good. And Wimpy finds the opening kill on the ace. Not the operator you typically see in those entry engagements, but he does have that AK-12, and he puts it to good use. Ashen hitting the floor, and Real ACAD already in a tough spot.
Where was that?
I have no idea.
Was he like rafters? Or maybe he was the master side player, because that's where Wimpy is right now. Maybe he challenged that Jacuzzi breach. Ambi almost loses his life as well, deciding to peek red stairs, even though the breach is already open, instead of just making the mad dash. That's going to prompt Neo to work his way up secret stairs. Look to get the drop on Fens. The footprint now scanned. They'll see that the Solus has retreated back to site. The drone spotting Neo as well. He'll shoot it and push up off of it, dealing some damage to Fens. Not enough for a kill. The hatch is open. Neo watching it. He gets back down to the site. So all in all, really efficient roam clear from IF. Not dedicating a whole lot of utility. Really just a couple Jackal scans, one Thermite, and they get away with a man advantage too.
Yeah, and full map clear now, and they have to really make this work towards the end of sight. And Uzi does end up getting one. Was that strip side that he was? He is. They never fully cleared it out, and Jackal does not have any tracks left, so they can't really take these fights over here, and Uzi can just waste as much time as possible. They're going to struggle to try and do this at all, and this is just a thorn in the side of IF. It's going to hurt them so badly, and they're going to have to make a decision whether or not they're going to clear this player out, and they need to do it as fast as possible. Fens taking the fight, not able to do it. He ends up getting taken down. Uzi opening up the wall, Orcs, that power going out, takes down Arrow as well. Wimpy on 1 HP. 30 seconds, and Uzi doing so much work, finding another one, and Inrio by himself effectively. Uzi by himself, just turning the tables of the round completely. Inrio finally taking him down, but as the time ticks off, the damage feels to be done, and Arial Academy looking to take that first defensive round.
That was incredible work from Uzi, putting the round on his back. 2 versus 2.
Stop.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Inrio's got case. Neo's 1 HP. He's got to wrap around. Ambi, you have to time this perfectly. Neo gets the swing on Fens. There's the trade, but Ambi pushing the back. Way too close for comfort. Despite Uzi's immaculate opener, it still gets down to a 2v2. IF, tremendous clutch attempt there, especially from Inrio working his way in. But at the end of the day, the damage already done, too much to overcome, and Ambi and Neo played the pinch perfectly.
Harrison, this game is incredible. I love it. Getting scrappy late round for sure, and even mid round, as we saw from IF, not fully clearing out strip. And you have a Jackal, you need to be able to see that. You need to be able to see that a player, because there's 2 places you can get there from. You track it. You can't get there without you knowing. So tough from them. But a big round win from Arial that kind of set the tone a little bit. They take that opening defense, and you know, a 4-3 deficit is way better at this current stage in the game than a 5-2 one would be. So, I mean, Uzi working himself in finally into the game. Felt like he was kind of MIA for quite a while in this game, and it's nice to see him kind of kick it up from Arial ACAD's point of view. And you know, they're starting, just the guns starting to pick up a little bit, but I have that early round, it's still going good. We saw it, we talked about it. That's what their kind of win condition is, and to be honest, I think Arial need to clean that up a little bit, because I don't think hero plays like Uzi just made right there is going to be enough for them to win 4 more defenses. I think they have to clean it up early round.
I like this basement roam from Ambi, especially as that Solus. Of course, so self-sufficient. You can tell when it's safe to go for that late round flank, which is likely what Ambi is going to be playing for. It was what he was playing for a lot in the game against LG and was typically successful with it. IF starting their attack will open up the con single wall. Nothing to challenge them on the plat breach either, so the initial stages of the clear, unabated. And I don't think, I don't think there's much defensive presence on, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, well timed. They just didn't know about the K trick. I was going to say, I don't think there's much defensive presence on the cash side of things. Oh, because they have the con shield. That's why. So they'll have to tangle with Uzi behind a shield playing as Doc if they want to have that cash side split.
And they don't have EMPs here, so getting rid of that Cade is not going to be easy. I think they're going to have to nade it out, but I don't even think the nade would reach it. So a really tough spot. I want to see if that got rid of the Cade right there. I'm not sure it did. I don't think it did.
Yeah, they're still on drones. I'm going to assume... no. No,
this is just hurting so
I think
bad.
it's too high up.
It is. And this is just really tough for them. They can't get this wall open, and this round is not really winnable if they can't get this wall open, and they're just struggling, wasting so much time to be able to do this, and they're just going to, I think, just ditch this completely. Windows, you can't get it, and that is going to get it off. That Cade now off. Great. Really idea from Fens to be able to go over there and do it. Wall now open. It is going to be a hop hole. There's a player in the
what
middle
the heck?
right there. He's just peeking the breach. He ends up getting taken down. That's not a pick you want to give up right there, Neo. And Spiker in a crazy spot here as well. 50 seconds. Ambi finds one back on the Ash of Fens, but Spiker in a really tough spot. And if they can find him here, that's going to be a big pick for them and a lot of control.
He's kind of got tentative support right now from Uzi on that Condor, and the Jaeger of Ashen holding his breach from Jim is going to have to do a lot of work. Ambi recently came back to the site, got healed up, and there's the crossfire I was just talking about. Ashen with a kill, but Uzi goes down to CZ. Another one for CZ. He's running around in the site, but dropped Case now by the breach. Ambi swings on in, domes the sledge, leaving Inrio on the main stairs. Case not in his hands, trying to get past, dealing damage to Ambi, forcing the Solus to back off, winning the fight against Spiker, putting us in a 1v1. Ambi, though, with the smart play, he's gonna drop. He knows Inrio either has to chase him or plant, and he can play the vertical. Ambi's in the basement. There's no way Inrio can win it with 1 second left. Beautiful play from Ambi, getting the Logi flank and playing the time, giving the tie score to AAA.
I gotta know where that Case was. I mean, if Solus drops right there, just plant on the master bed. He can't shoot you from below.
Arrow dropped it right in the jacuzzi breach when he got killed by the Kata bathroom.
I mean, I feel like there's still time to be able to grab it. He dropped with, what, 10 seconds left? If
Something
I'm
like
correct?
That, yeah.
I still think you go grab Case and go put that down, but it's a smart play from Ambi for the most part. But, I mean, that's a 1 round right there from Inrio if he just goes to grab Case. Unless I'm, tweaking on how much time he had to be able to go get that. I mean, it's just right there. You go for Case, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Especially with how the bed is, like it's so big that you can't really find a reliable angle through the floor to try and counter it, which is what Ambi was obviously playing for.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, well, I don't know. Hold on. So he was fighting Spiker on the master door. I'm trying to think. Wrapping around to the breach, picking up Case, and getting to the master bed, I think would have taken more than 10 seconds.
He was in the middle, and he could go through bathroom.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like, I feel like 10 seconds is a real hard.
It would be so close.
Yeah. I understand. I understand why he didn't want to go for it.
Yeah.
Plus, too, because then you take the risk. Oh, is Ambi playing below, or is he wrapping up main stairs?
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, because the master bed is so far away, you're going to be planting on 000. So yeah, it was a tough decision from Inrio. Kind of unwinnable there. Ambi played it really well, and that gives a tie game to AAA. So they've come back. IF just took their time out. They want to try and stop the bleeding. They don't want AAA to retake that momentum, because that momentum is oh so important with a young team like Arial Academy. Still bringing the Solus, still bringing the Doc. Now Bandit and Wamai coming out to hold on to rafters and make sure that Bandit trick's going to go down successfully. A lot of investment into this lounge hold, holes in that garage wall as well. And IF are going to be hard pressed to deal with this Bandit unless they can take Ambi out really quickly.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think necessarily that Solus should be too much of a problem here, but it is going to cause you to actually have some form of presence downstairs if you're going to go for any sort of plant at all, unless you just, full take sight. Mav coming out, Arrow trying to get this wall quite quickly, not wanting to deal with that bandit trick at all, and this is going to get that wall open pretty quickly, as long as he doesn't mess anything up too badly, and the impact's starting to come out. Always tough. As a Mav player myself, I've always hated that. But he is just, proceeding as usual. And Ambi, what he could do here is he could see if there's any claymores. I think Inrio does have one, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But, I mean, they're going to have to get Uzi out. They are double stacking up rafters as well. This is going to be really tough for them to clear. Arial really playing into this attack quite well. They just have not all the answers, but it feels like they're playing right into and just countering what IF want to do.
Yeah, because it's not just a double stack up, it's a double stack up with a Doc in play, who we all know is the longevity operator in Siege, and Ambi supporting that bottom garage hold while simultaneously stopping the bandit trick counter from below. Gets that opening pick from Swamp on the CZ, attempting to make his way into bottom garage to get his nades up. Now you've lost a big utility pick. Ambi's still running amok, will take damage, but not die. So he lives and gets healed up by the Doc. I was going to talk about him maybe being able to find an angle, and there it is. So he's back to full. All the damage they just did wiped away, but it looks like IF might force themselves through the breach. They spot the smoke, but can't land the shots on Spiker. They deal with the red shield, but what an angle on the green box over top of the bomb chassis. Spiker domes Inrio. Wimpy gets a trade as Ashen is just kind of standing in the middle of the breach, trying to catch one of those players off guard with an off angle. Neo's going to have to be really careful. Should Wimpy just walk his way through, but Arrow's getting stopped. Wimpy is stopped. Never mind, the whole attack is stopped by AAA holding angles. And for the first time in this map, Joe, Arial Akehead have the advantage.
You know what's crazy to me, Harrison? They saw that setup and decided to push it.
Doc, Wamai, we can do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
With one set of nades.
Like, even if it's only one player in Rafters, Well, I mean, if it is two, would that?
Yeah. Because they already had the breach open. If you just rotate your ace like Khan, you have enough, or they have that. Just rotate your thermite Khan, and then you just,
make it work. I'm not quite sure why. I'm not a big fan of just teams having a set push and just going for it regardless of what the defense is. I think the meta for quite some time has been more reactive. I think you need to be able to adjust on the fly very quickly. And I think, you look at that round, you look at that setup, it's got to be a decision of, look, we cannot do our push anymore. We have to switch things up. They didn't do that. They tried to force it, and I mean, you saw it. They just got, their bones collected by Arial Academy, and they find themselves in a deficit right now because that attack was fresh out of a timeout.
Yeah,
that needs to be noted. That was fresh out of a timeout, and that may have been one of the worst looking attacks they've had all game. So that's not good from them, and it's not a good thing for me. The way that I'm seeing it, it's not a good sign. And IF need to do something quickly if they want to really just get into this game.
I like the rotation back to the Jackal for Fens on this downstairs attack. They do have to fight against a Capcan and an Oryx. A Capcan who still has 3 in pocket. What? All right, he just put them all back down. Uzi was the player who went big here. After they lost Ashen early, he was still lingering by Strip and ended up finding 3 kills to almost single-handedly win the round. Excuse me. And they're making sure that doesn't happen again. Inrio is in Strip. And they might have info on Uzi. They're trying to pinch him out with that info and Inrio pushing the backside. Ambi's not going to have any impact here as he gets taken out early by Fens. That's a great opening pick for IF, but they had the opening pick on the attempt before, and Uzi still went huge. They're hunting him down. Oh, and they're hunting down Ashen. Ashen's just coming up the main stairs to assist. Uzi's going to go for the refrag, and he's unsuccessful.
Wow. 2 big kills coming out. I was going to say it's really going to be all on Uzi to kind of get this round back into their way. And Neo, they're trying to make a play, double flank up main, but it's just not there. It's just not an opening that they can take advantage of, and they need to do something to get some picks back. And IF doing a great job right now at not giving them much of anything. And you know, the information's coming in. You see Neo try to make the play. Not the smartest, but in fairness, he had to do something. Spiker left on his lonesome 1v5.
Located by attackers.
And not great.
Oh!
Wait, hold on. All right. Captain Trap kills
Wow.
2. Oh, but they know where he is. Okay. So a bit of a
Wow.
comical ending to the round with the double Capcan kill, but they had drones. Spiker was sitting on the
3.
Spiker was sitting on the drone hole. Yeah, I wouldn't be questioning the fact there were 3 Capcans. Yeah, so when I was like, hey, Ashen still has 3 Capcan traps, he rotated downstairs like to fall back to sight and just put all 3 of them on the moto door. Like he was just like, screw it. I
Kind of
gotta
a
put them
beast for that.
somewhere. And then he ended up getting 2 kills. That's crazy.
I mean,
it's
that's just
5-5
NA
again.
Prodigy right there.
What did you just say?
That's the NA Prodigy right there.
Oh,
All
okay.
knowing.
I thought you spoke another language for a sec. That was
No.
weird.
I mean, perhaps I did. Without even knowing it.
Bilingual?
Absolutely not.
Attackers need to locate and
No, a little
Oh, good.
Spanish.
Neither am I. Neither
Tiny
am I.
bit.
I like the Echo pick.
I do as
Now,
well.
so now they have Solus, Echo, Doc. Or they've got 3
Frost.
1.5s, and they're gonna have like all the info in the world. Echo Impacts is an interesting one too.
Yeah, that
No
one
shield.
is. But I mean, they are bringing the ace, so it's going to be good for them to be able to impact that wall.
True.
They don't have any shotguns specifically,
They have the Bailiff and the secondary from Frost.
which is fine. I mean, it's making rotates. It's fine. There's some
con shield again.
positions. There are some positions on this site which it is so nice to hold with a shot. So
That's true. That's why Smoke and Mute are that's why Smoke and Mute are so good on club in general. I feel like there's a lot of really, really good shotgun
I'm
angles
pretty
on
sure
this
that
map.
would have hit the wall anyways. Almost positive. Oh, Ambi doing it. I have seemed ready for it last time for this dirt play from Ambi, so I think they realistically should be ready for it again. But looking at this, they're not even pushing that direction at all. It looks like they're going to try and get the CC side open. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable too, especially now that they know that they're only really facing a con shield. They have the Flores. So all they need to do is just open the cache
And a
wall.
Mav.
Yeah, open the cache wall, walk in, Mav a line in the con wall, send the Flores drone, and then there you go.
Mhm.
Doc is forced back, and then you can start working Logi.
Absolutely. It's a good thing. It's a good adjustment coming out from them. A little bit late. You'd wanted to see these adjustments a little bit sooner, but the Echo is going to help out from them. It's information that they really need to be able to act off of if they're going to give this kind of space out. But right now they're doing a great job, but Ambi
Where was
does
that?
get a kill. I have no idea.
bomb located by attackers.
Where was that?
I think he was below. Yeah, Ambi's below. CZ was trying to work some nades. Missed Doc. That's really unfortunate. And he eats damage, so he's going to have to use the last one. Bit of a waste there. But yeah, CZ was trying to work himself below. Work for the nades. Ambi was able to catch him. Uzi deals a lot more damage to Arrow than I think he should have. And Spiker responds with the C4 after his teammate dies. And no! Trying to get a cutoff angle on that gym wall. Wimpy's Selma stuck on the barricade and wasted. That's his last one. So not a lot of control for IF. Sure, they've got Con, but AAA have adjusted really well, locking off Logi for the remainder of the round because there's no hard breach and the map is dead.
These nades are going to have to be huge. Ambi taking more damage right there. Fens does have it in his hand. He's looking for it, and like we said, the nades have to be big, but he rotates out. This player, I think, is stuck. They know he's still in bathroom, I hope. But they're struggling to really get in over here. And one nade left. You can kind of see this. They're working their way in now. Fens does get taken down. Inrio has a lot of work to do here. Wimpy does hop right in. He ends up getting one, but not able to be traded. And another round, it looks like, going towards Arial ACAT. Inrio does get one, however. And Ambi is low still. And it's going to be tough for him to really make anything work. Right here is a nice little crossfire that they're going to have set up, but
Attackers have dropped the bomb.
yeah, tough one for him. And Arial Academy put themselves on match point.
Yeah, all AAA needed to do in that situation was just play off contact. You know, if Ashen started taking the fight, I'm sure Ambi, had he heard a few more bullets, would have immediately swung out for the kill on Inrio. So a good attempt from IF to get it down to a 1v2 in that situation, but really unwinnable. Starting off with Ambi killing CZ below and IF having no one else to work downstairs presence. Like that, they had that one set, it died, and that was it. Then AAA for the remainder of the round, all they had to do was worry about the guys in con and one on the window. The guys in con start to fall one by one with Arrow getting traded by the C4. Fens has to work his way in, but there's a crossfire being held from Bathroom and Gold, and it's pretty unwinnable. The fact that Wimpy even got in the building through the master window is incredible, but unfortunately could not do enough with the position he was in. Again, just numerous crossfires they had to try and play into. And now Arial ACAD, just as they had against Luminosity, are up 6-5. You saw Uzi type in chat, history repeats itself. Will they throw the round like they did last time? Now defending onto Cash, having this Bandit, having the Solus, having pretty much the same defense.
Oh,
except with Ashen running out.
They're not going to be ready for this.
Oh.
They are now.
Ah.
Doesn't want to go for a 1-for-1. I think IF, I mean, I'm not a big fan of sending someone below like that just to lurk, to really get isolated right there. I think they could just go for this. And once again, Harrison, they are going for this direct. I can't get past it, man. I really can't. I don't know why they're going for this. And it doesn't even look like any adjustments were made. It just looks like they're doing the same exact thing. And I mean, some crazy thing needs to happen for this to really be any sort of change from last time. Just, I don't know. It's hard to put into words how I'm feeling right now.
Did you see that? Who is that downstairs? Ambi. Okay. Ambi's in stock, lurking around, and wow, Fens did not know what was coming, clearly. Bro was peeking the door, and Ambi smokes him, giving his team the opening pick. Arrow, incredibly lit, going for that main wall, which I think has already been opened, but he does get punished for it. Wimpy is solo in bottom garage right now, attempting to work a pick against Uzi and Neo. He's got pings on where the dock is, but Uzi likely won't be standing up anytime soon, or will probably position himself better should he go for it. But Ambi peeking out, catching CZ outside garage from I don't even know where. Wimpy, at the very least, gets the refrag, ending Ambi's reign of terror. But AAA still hold a 4-3-man advantage and hold on to garage rafters. And now IF don't have nades to clear this. The only thing they'll be able to do is maybe get some flashbangs in and attempt to walk up. That's their only option.
It's much of the same. Much of the same. It's playing out almost exactly how the last round played out. But Neo does get taken down. Wimpy not able to get the second, but now Uzi is by himself. The flash goes out. Oh no,
the self-stun. That was the opportunity. Dude, that was the opportunity Arrow needed. Uzi was full white. Another flashbang would have made him full white again. But he self-stuns. Now Uzi knows exactly where the Maverick is coming from. A drone goes out. They've got the info, and Arrow will act off of it. Nice 1-2 punch there. Leaves us in a 2v2.
He has to go through the window.
Spiker's got the gas. Inrio just lurking outside the garage. He'll get gassed off once again. Unable to push with only 15 seconds left. And Ashen's working himself forward to hold on to the window. Spiker, though, takes a stance. Takes out Arrow. Lights Inrio to 1 HP. And the Zofia can't do anything. Spiker steps up. And Arial ACAD do not have a repeat. They end up taking Clubhouse. IF's map pick. 7-5.
Why did they do a garage? Why did they do that? No adjustments, lack of adjustments, and good to see Ariel not, do the thing again. I'm not going to name it. I'm not going to say it. No bad juju. We don't want to do all that. But they find a way to close out Club, and that's the map that IF needed to win, and they weren't able to do it. And it's going to be tough for me to really see a way back into the series for IF, and lack of adjustments, lack of really just, being able to make the necessary changes hurts them very much in the end.
Yeah, it seemed like, when AAA were playing into the IF system, IF were playing their hearts out. They were playing really well, getting the opening picks, stopping AAA from getting freaky. But once AAA really started kind of throwing wrenches into IF's cogs, then everything fell apart. Those defenses at AAA were getting aggressive. Ambi was just running around downstairs, unspotted on that Solus, so self-sufficient, pretty much knowing exactly when there was info on him and when he needed to strike. That is the power of the solo lurk Solus. IF couldn't take the heat, not bringing Solus a single round on their defense. Maybe they didn't know how to deal with it, and maybe they should have banned it.
I mean, yeah, just a lack of really going to clear it at all. Ambi was having his way the entire time. And for the defenses, I have had the players that we wanted to stepping up. Wimpy had a great map. Era was kind of doing his thing on the defense. Fens wasn't even playing that bad. And, it was resulting in round wins. On the attack, not so much. So a tough loss for them, but we do have more maps to go. It's not over, not completely. So are going to go to a little bit of a break, but stay tuned for map 2.
Cards on a double, though, and he finds a third to the smoke. It's just an ult. Getting into 3K with an ult.
With 3 seconds left, Silent lands the pre-fire. Nobody can kill him in time.
He clutches it out. What a play from the alibi as the lobby player goes unchecked.
Hi, I'm Spiker, and I play for Arial and Rise Academy. I think we'll do pretty well against the amateur teams, because, like, in SFCL, we were basically playing all the good amateur teams. We didn't lose very much. He really noticed with Neo instead of Spiff, a lot of stuff can switch up, but I think we'll do pretty well. We'll then play really predictably. They'll just, like, spawn in one place and, like, shoot defaults and barricades, and, like, that's where they're going to go for the round. So, like, you usually predict where they're going to go, just, like, switch util, full press, like, whatever you want to do. So you can just counter them pretty easily. Well, Neo's a beast. You guys saw the clip on Twitter against the Favelas. Like, he's a beast. Like a 1-for-1 replacement for Spiff, even though Spiff into the league. I mean, like Neo's first T3 league, and I think he'll do pretty well. He's a beast, so. I'm Rafters. Da-da-da. You got that swamp?
Yeah, okay.
I'm walking secret. Secret done.
Oh! Oh! You got this. Oh my god.
Well, I would say JJ, because, like, it's JJ. Sadly, he can't beat me, so he can't really be my arch nemesis, because, like, he can't even get a map off me, even on theme park. Can't really say that, but that's the closest thing. I'm just gonna say LG, just because, like, all of us are friends with them. It'll be, like, a pretty fun game, and if we play them, it'll probably be a BO3. It would be a pretty fun game if we did play them, and, obviously we want to smoke them, so.
I'm going big.
Try that. He's still there, bro.
I can't smoke.
Still peeking the door.
Where'd you walk in from? Main door?
Main.
Walk down. Nope, there's no one here.
You're done.
Spike is a beast.
He's on main.
Good shot,
I mean, I think all of us probably be MPL at some point. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell with Neo because, like, he's new, but his mechanics are good. He's been learning quick. So, I mean, everybody on the team at least go with a CL right away, like, in my opinion, at least. Gotta say, Doug from HK Rebels, that guy's just delusional. I was watching his interview. That guy was saying that because they beat Favelas and Karn, that, like, CL teams were gonna be easy, and all they gotta worry about was oxygen. Like,
things. CL teams, I'm not really worried about. We beat 2 CL teams to get into the league. It's not really a big problem for us. We made the league with no scrims, so.
Where did AAA go, bro? Where did those other CL teams go that were good? Like, fucking Doug.
Oh.
China. Oh, you're a beast.
I gotta say Ashen just because, like, that guy only eats chicken and rice. So I gotta switch up every once in a while, He's chicken and rice and then occasionally canes, like once in a blue moon. But, I mean, just gotta switch it up. You just gotta switch it up, man. Gotta get some variety. It's gonna get boring. Last show I binge watched was Breaking Bad. I don't know how I haven't watched it by now, but it's a pretty solid show. You should check it out. If you like drugs and money, it's a good show for you. Favorite movie? Gotta go with the classic Interstellar. Who doesn't love black holes and people getting sucked in like... Wait, no, that sounds so bad. No! Can I be done? You gotta cut that out. You know, who doesn't love like time jumps and like super trippy things? People like swimming through like existence and like be behind a bookshelf and like being upset. You're like, who doesn't love space? You know, like it's a pretty cool movie. So yeah. He has to run. Dead, dead. He's down. Dead. 15. On plat, dead. Garage, holes. Dead.
Pollard's on a double though, and he finds a third through the smoke.
Just an ult. Yeah, he gets a 3K with an ult.
With 3 seconds left, Simon lands the pre-fire. Nobody can kill him in time.
And he clutches it out. What a play from the alibi as the lobby player goes unchecked.
Welcome back, everyone. A tightly contested map 1, to say the least. IF slightly losing Clubhouse. Not something we wanted to see from them. It was a hot start, but not able to continue that onto their attacks. And Arial Academy closing out business.
It was a really tough contest. They ended up winning 7-5. And if we take a look at the stats, they're remarkably similar. On the side of IF, both Inrio and Wimpy with stellar performances, 13 and 9, really trying to put the team on their backs. Arrow 8 and 10, CZ 7 and 10, Fens 6 and 8. So Fens, you know, still doing okay, you know, -2. He was 2-1 on entry. Someone who I think IF really needed to step up though was CZ. 7 and 10, 2 and 3 negative on the entry. 2 out of the 3 of his entry deaths coming on the attack when he's that really important sledge operator carrying that set of nades. I think we're going to need to see big things from CZ on Chalet, especially if they want to come out with the win. Meanwhile, on AAA, Ambi was 11 and 7, leading the charge. Neo and Spiker both 10 and 10. Nice to see both Neo and Spiker have a nice resurgence there. Ashen 8 and 9, and Uzi 7 and 11. Uzi being the player who was leading AAA throughout that match in LG, but took a little bit of a backseat in this match. And something that was surprised me too, Joe, is that across the map, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, AAA only got the opening frag 5 times in 12 rounds. IF had the other 7, but AAA were able to more consistently turn that into round wins, and I think that's going to be a big difference maker on Chalet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the entries from IF, I mean, you talked about CZ already. Inrio doing a great job. He's doing a lot more entering than he has in the past, but Fens, once again, he needs to do a little bit more damage. I think if one of CZ or Fens step up a lot on this map, I think it'll be okay. But having both of them have like an average performance is just not going to be enough to beat them. But we do see the Solus going out on Chalet. I feel so smart that I got that ready.
Yeah, especially with IF not running Solus at all. And then AAA with Ambi really punishing IF with the Solus. Yeah. We saw this ban coming from a mile away, especially with how well AAA used the Solus against LG. She was a huge part of why AAA, you know, 7-2'd them. It was not close on this map. And so seeing her gone, great for IF, but in banning the Solus and the Azami, Valkyrie is still up, and this is a great Valkyrie map. Why is Uzi saying my name? What's up, Uzi? You can't hear me.
Yeah, he can't hear you. What's going on?
Uzi cannot hear me. How am I supposed to respond?
Let's have the observer just speak on your behalf.
There we go. Wimpy, let him know. I can't respond.
Actually,
can't. Yeah, wait, Zach. Can you type it? Can you type it, Jack? You say Crow says what's up. I don't know if he's allowed to do that.
I don't know if he's allowed to do that either. Still doing it. He's still after it.
Just answer.
It's bothering me now. I want to know what he wants to say.
Just say Crow says sup. Please. I gotta know what he wants to say.
Put an end to this.
Dude, knowing him, it's probably gonna be like something dumb.
There we go. Beautiful.
It's gonna be something dumb.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
It's like the, like, you don't remember that scene from SpongeBob? Where someone asked Twitter what's happening here. Twitter goes, something stupid, I'm sure. That's how I feel. Wow, Ambi just rocked in Rio off spawn. Oh, there it is. All right, not as dumb.
That's nice.
I like you too, Uzi. You're a great player. I never played ranked with him though. I played ranked with Ambi and Spiker at one point. I haven't played with Uzi yet.
Beat me in ranked the other day.
But losing Inrio's kind of big. One set of nades. Vert can be a big part of this attack, but as of right now, you know, they've only lost that one body, and in return, they have a relatively simple and quick opening of that main snowmobile breach, so it's not all bad for IF.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they need to do something to clear out these roamers a little bit above. I'm assuming that hatch is open in dining. If a little bit of a look, and it is. So they're gonna have to do something to clear out these players upstairs. They can't just, you know, take into sight without doing that unless they want to go for some form of a flood, but aren't gonna be able to do that. And Wimpy is now upstairs, top floor, and what a C4 that would have been. I would have shot that personally. Missed opportunity from Hera right there to get rid of some utility. A minute and a half left, and not a ton of progress being made, but that player who was getting a little aggressive right there does fall back onto the shield. The Cade went back up. Arrow doesn't hear it. I think that Thermite is going to end up going down.
Yeah.
Tough once again. That long angle's not going to be open, and it's just been tough over and over again. Are they not going to get Gem Wallet? Oh, they still have an ace left.
C4 goes out, only succeeds in damaging Fens, but it does put him pretty low. With a minute left, IF have to solve the problem of this breach. Now, with no more nades, how do they take out the Electro Claw? CZ has got to rotate over and help his team as Ashen takes a lot of damage west main. That Thatcher, I think, is exactly what the attack is waiting for. Fens holding the top main flank. It looks like they'll probably go for the EMP and the Ace to open up the long angle and have the Thermite open up that red hall to try and get pressure down on that shield. Uzi calling my name once again, even though he is in the middle of a round. Now, if he doesn't pop off, I'm going to be mad, and I'm going to blame it on him typing. CZ finishing off Ashen. One of those players upstairs now dead. An important C4 now dead. Neo, the only one who had a C4 left, is also killed by Wimpy. The attackers able to make their way into that breach. Arrow breaking the barrel and getting the plant down, but they let Ambi in. He gets the planter, gets another off the shield. 3 kills for Ambi. Spiker with the TCSG, and now CZ's alone. And Ambi does not let the round end on time. He wants all those kills. 4 for Ambi, and the round for AAA.
He really just sprinted past that long angle breach right there, and I can't believe that IF even let that happen in the first place. A big play from him, but they had that round in their grasp. It was all theirs, and they just throw it away. Every round is going to be very important right now. Arial Academy, we've seen over and over, time and time again, how comfortable they are on this map, and every round is going to matter. And that's not rounds you can really afford to lose right now with your backs against the wall. A tough way to lose it, a tough way to start a map. And Arial Academy just taking full advantage of another mistake. Ambi, big plays out of him.
And that is Ambi in a nutshell. That guy just finds a way. I don't know how he does it so consistently. He's like Gunner too. You remember watching Gunner in T3? Like somehow that guy would always just get in and kill everyone.
The timing was impeccable.
Oh yeah,
same thing
I think Ambi has definitely got to be up there.
Yeah,
especially with how mechanically incredible both of those guys are. Ambi's like I can't even say mini Gunner because Gunner's not that big of a guy. But either way,
that's tough.
I'm sure IF really want that round
fault,
back.
Gunner. My fault, man. Especially
with what's it called? Not clearing that shield, wasting all those nades on the Electro Claw, and losing Inrio early. Had Inrio been alive, that pillar shield might not have been up.
And Inrio is also a very big impact player from them, so losing him in any capacity is not something you want to see. But I mean, still players from IF getting on the board that you want to see get on the board. It's just their inability to really close out rounds. CZ bringing the Flores, which I really like. He's going to try and get rid of these castles on the windows. Gonna do just that. There's no mute chambers, but doing all of that work, and they haven't even entered library yet, and there's only one player doing the damage. Where's the fifth? Is he on K9? Am I okay? Am I not counting correctly? Ah, I see. Front door. I see. I understand now.
I like how they've switched Wimpy to a more aggressive role, especially with how he performed last map. He's now on the Ash, one of those spearheads, along with Fens that Inrio can take a little bit of a backseat, play more off of his utility, switching CZ to Flores as well, whose primary goal is going to be taking utility out of the upstairs, and once he does that, taking utility out on that bomb site, especially the shield next to that plant wall. Breach goes open. Ashen's got a really nice angle just in like a break of the wall. And Neo has a very nice first kill. Not only does he get the opening frag, but it's CZ on that Flores. Now a lot of that utility in sight is going to stay up.
Yeah, and 3 players upstairs still contesting. But in real, big nade to open things up a little bit. That is the bathroom player, and they're going to start rotating out. Ashen does get one on the way out. He does end up getting out, and this is top floor now for IF.
No.
They don't know. They're not aware, and they're going to continue to waste some time trying to clear it, and the time is just ticking away, and no lobby control. You see Ambi starting to work his way towards those F1 stairs, towards that bottom main, and if they decide to go for that lobby execute, he's going to be really just stopping anything from happening. Inrio starting to do some vertical play as well. 30 seconds left though, time ticking out. I don't think Inrio saw that player, and that's going to be tough from them once again. The longer this trophy player is there, the tougher it's going to be for them to execute, and 20 seconds left of time, continuously ticking, no nades to work with, but 2 kills out of nowhere, and the time still so low, they're gonna have to try and find a way to drop, and the dining player not looking in the right direction. Benz finds himself 2 kills to close out the round, and out of seemingly nothing, IF take a round right on back, tying up our game. Harrison, how did that just happen?
I don't know. AAA, it just seemed flummoxed by the vertical play. IF lost a lot going into their top floor clear. They lost CZ. They used all their nades. They went 2 for 1. And Arial had all that utility left on site, forcing IF to try and go for a hatch drop trophy play. They had no hard, or well, even if they did have hard breach left to open dining, they would just be staring down a shield, and there was nothing they could do about it. AAA know exactly what they have to do, so they position their players in West Main, in Trophy, back towards short, back of dining to watch that hatch, blah, blah, blah. But the vertical play from Inrio, immaculate. Destroying almost everything in Trophy, not allowing that player to escape. Enabling Fens to get another kill on the alibi, backing into the vertical play that he didn't know was there. And at the end in the 3 versus 2, Spiker, instead of staring at the hatch, distracted by the vertical play, throwing a C4 up, trying to take the pressure off of him, but it was wrong place, wrong time. Fens dropped in and smoked him.
Wow.
And IF had a brilliant recovery.
Well, that's a lot of damage at least.
Yeah, Ambi gets killed on the run out, but I mean, he downs 1, puts CZ to below half, takes some damage off of Arrow. I mean, that's not terrible. I'm sure he would have liked a kill, but you know,
yeah, all the utility's still there, and I think Bar is going to be really tough to defend without that Azami and with Flores up.
Oh,
but
there we go. There's a kill.
Finding the Flores, which is a really big pick right there, and evening out the man count as well, but still having 4 players right now this early. There's only 2 players really able to play up here, and Wimpy onto that K9 Balk is going to be such an important player. He now knows that there's nobody over here. He has all of this space to work with if he wants, and this window's not open, and yes, he is going to, I think, take this space over here. Neo on 1 HP, but that Ying going out, they don't really take off of it. Inrio does walk in, actually, I lied. Oh! Neo, a beautiful shot to be able to take it down, and Ashen, another one onto Fens. Wimpy ends up getting 1 back, and he hops down into lobby, and there is a player in dining, I believe. A lot of information, though. We spotted out 2 different players. I have having some drones in some great spots to be able to make some stuff work, but still in a tough spot, man down, not a lot of control, and Harrison's going to be tough.
And that run out from Ambi, lighting up a couple of those players, really working in the favor of AAA. The top floor hold from Ashen and Neo. Really didn't expect Neo to be able to get that kill. They didn't expect Ashen to still be holding the crossfire. The C4 from Spiker, perfectly timed as Arrow jumps in the window. Now Wimpy's the last one left. They know he's lobby or around lobby thanks to the alibi he hit earlier, and it seems like Uzi heard the rotate, patiently waiting at the window. Neo might just go for the fight early. He sees the feet of Spiker, tags up the Valkyrie, now knows there's someone watching him, eats even more damage, kills Spiker, but Uzi's there for the response. Things don't get out of control. AAA win the round comfortably.
Yeah, it felt like they didn't really do much of anything to start off that round. Wimpy knew he had control of piano and office side, and he didn't do anything with it. And to me, that's not great. And I think they also didn't really capitalize off of the Yings either. And losing the Flores early as well, not great. And the Flores makes that site really easy to attack and get rid of so much utility, even move players out of position to kind of force them to peek if you kind of get your drone in the right spot. And losing him so early, tough scenes. So Uzi getting a big pick back right there, picking those west main windows, and IF find themselves in a 2-1 hole. And we know how attacker-sided Chalet can be, and every single one of these rounds that they lose is going to make it even harder for them to win this game.
AAA opting to go back to dining where they were just thwarted in the 3v4. I do like that AAA are sticking this Valkyrie. They've been acting off of the info really well so far. IF had an incredible turnaround here. Mainly, I would say, even though he didn't get all the kills, mainly off the back of Inrio, just thanks to some stellar vertical play. The locations from those sledgehammer and the timing he had was basically perfect. His only kill also being off of a nade in that round that killed Neo in bathroom, allowing kind of for the storm in from the attack that really forced the defense back to begin with.
It's gonna have to be
Arial are
cleaner.
going for it looks like Arial are going for pretty much the same setup as well, only this time Wimpy's early on that double rappel. Ambi does not expect it and goes down. Uzi tries to get aggressive to take a kill back, but CZ rocks him, and IF in 30 seconds start 2 men up.
Yeah, and they're getting really aggressive on this library side, and IF, they have to take this slow and not give anything up. They're making sure that the drones are good. Ben's playing really passive right now, but he's not able to do anything, and this is 2 players over here, and Arrow taking a lot of damage. Arrow ends up going down, and I believe that is Case over there, but both players are over here now. They do know that, but with Case down in such a tough, really spot for them to go grab it, it's going to be tough, but they do have sight. If one player can find a way to go grab Case, a beautiful shot from Inrio right there, but Ashen, his position is known. He grabs a player, and with the sight information, Ashen knows he has a 1v1 temporarily on site. Difficult fight for him to really take, though, and he's going to have to try and reposition, and Harrison...
CZ is also rotated west, man. He's got a drone, so they know exactly where Ashen's going to be coming from. Yeah, they've got pings on him downstairs.
Go play upstairs, please.
This is going to be really tough for Ashen to win, especially with no C4, and now the plant has been completed, but both attackers are stuck in kitchen. It's a good opportunity for Ashen to try and line up both. He sees Inrio, misses the shots, able to down CZ, though, and Inrio's still stuck. Ashen, though, doesn't peek the right angle. Tight from Inrio, right over the bomb chassis. A very narrow opening, but we know he's good enough to hit that shot. And he makes sure Ashen does not clutch the round and gives IF the equalizer once more.
Inrio. Slaughterhouse is playing today. Lately, I'm convinced.
Slaughterhouse. Inrio. Breadbaggers.
So true. Back in the day. I mean, he's just playing so well lately. And it's so hard to, this Inrio has been missing for so long. And it's nice to see because he had so much talent back in the day and it felt like it just went away. But it's so nice to see that he still has it. And he's doing so much good work right now. Big round from him right there to tie it up. And, they go to a basement attack now. one that they looked great on last time. It was a round that they really should have closed out, and you thought in every facet there was no way they were going to lose it, and then they just so happened to lose. Oh my god, I love that Valcam.
It's cheeky.
I like that.
My god, how do you spot
like
that
that.
drone?
10 seconds to go.
Wow. Anyways, I mean, they had
5 seconds left.
all basically everything they needed to win that last round, and they weren't able to do it. So as long as they can, you know, make sure they get that done this time, a 3-2 lead, all considering, not the worst position to be in.
Yeah, and it's going to be a necessary position considering how good Arial were on their attacks on this map. And Ambi leading things off with another spawn peek. He grabs Fens. An important set of nades. 1 of 2, leaving Arial with the only ones left. Luckily, though, they did not lose their Thatcher. They haven't lost their hard breachers. So Garage Wall will be the next barrier that goes away. Kind of, in essence, trapping Ashen and Spiker here, too.
Yeah, but nobody's playing here, and they didn't have anyone playing here last time, which also could have been something that they did. They didn't. But they're going to have to start clearing out, and they're actually going to change their push a little bit here. Instead of working on this backside at all, they're going to switch this completely to a library take, trying to do the vert, and CZ a big pick on Ambi. Not the best one to give back. I mean, just giving IF a way back into the round, and you did see a pre-play C4 come out also from Arial. That's going to be a big thing, whether or not this round goes that direction or not, but a big pick back for IF, and I mean, they can get this connector hatch open, and everything that they really need in this round, they can make happen.
Now, this C4, I think, has to hit. One from Neo that they have pre-placed. And it won't. But they have but they have Ashen. Ashen's up here. He gets droned. They know where he is. He's trapped here. There's someone in his games, but he swings out and Dome CZ. Now he's looking for more. Blindsides Wimpy. Ashen's going huge. Spiker ascends the main stairs to assist, and there's nothing this attack can do. Ashen slips behind enemy lines, is spotted at the last moment, but it's not enough for IF to kill him.
How on earth do you let that happen? How on earth do you allow him to just walk in right there and get 2 kills? That is beyond me for a team at this caliber to be making a mistake like that. Ashen, once again though, finding the hole that was really given to them, but there's just no reason that it should have been there. And you talked about it earlier. They're doing so well at acting off the information that those Valcams are producing, but it's never something that should happen right there. And IF losing a round that, once again, they had an opportunity to come right on back in, and they're just not able to convert, and losing it in that way is just not, to me, not a great way, and it can just halt momentum completely.
Great opportunity to go up 4-2 from AAA. Now giving Ashen the Oryx. Spiker flexing from Cade onto Valkyrie. Last time, this top library clear was not great from IF. Despite Wimpy having full office control, like you highlighted, he still played on that balcony, and it was not enough to thwart AAA's top floor hold. Oh my god, he's actually going for this. I also think there was a drone watching him, and Ambi gets another frickin' spawn peek, bro. 3! He got 3 spawn peeks!
There's no way, and that's Arial again. Second time going down, and
that's, dude, half his kills are spawn peeks.
That's tough. That's tough.
How do they keep letting him get away with this? Ambi's got to be like the chalet spawn peak connoisseur to be able to do it.
They have to be ready for that, though. There's no way that they're going for it every single time, and that's a big nade from Fens to get one back. That is the Valk right there, and a C4, important utility going down. That's really their only form of denial. They know this player's close.
What?
Fens getting one, and Ashen hopping out, not able to find that kill. CZ finding one. So much action, and 1 minute into the round. Players dropping left and right, and Ashen is down to 1 HP now as well. Uzi taking fights as well. He's going to hit the deck. I'm not sure that they know, and Ashen is here for the help, however, and once again, so much action happening. I'm pretty sure they know a player is close. Easy finding another one, and so much happening. 6 players on the deck, and we're not even halfway through the round.
And they know Ambi might come up the main stairs. I love that angle that Wimpy is holding.
He's no longer holding
He comes off of it. Ambi gets up. Is he going to look the right way? Staring at this Ying. Takes out one. Looking for Arrow on the balcony. He won't find him. Sees he's going to stop holding Ivy as well. Allows Ambi back down the blue stairs. Ambi could play on the hatch. That would single-handedly stop this plant attempt, but he's just going to swing the window. CZ reveals his location. Ambi can't win the fight. That is just too strong of an angle, especially covered by the debris. I gotta say, if Ambi just went upstairs, then that plant attempt can't go down.
I'm sure they had information, and then they could have rotated into bar or something, make that work. But a big round from CZ. Players are starting to step up from IF that really need to step up. Fenn's a big kill, and I was going to note something a little bit earlier as well. I mean, Fenn's, he had such a big round, and that probably gives you, literally infuses confidence into your veins and pumping full of confidence, and then he basically gets shut down 2 rounds in a row, and that hurts a lot. So for him to get back on the board, you know, we talked about it, he needs to be able to fill that void of frags that is happening at the moment, and gets one back. And I mean, you do see players starting to step up a little bit from IF, but in Rio, hard for him to do much of anything when he's just not alive past 10 seconds into the round.
Yeah, AAA, I was going to say I like how aggressive they're getting, and then they, like, over the course of the round, they got too aggressive. They got a little too freaky with it. And all IF had to do was just, like, sit on cutoff positions and sit on windows.
It's something they've been doing, though, lately. It's how they've been losing. It's how they lost that LG game. For instance, they, you know, like, they gave up picks that they really needed to not. They do the hard work. They do everything they need to do to win a round, and then they just give it on back because they get a little too antsy. Whether it's antsy, anxious, whatever it is that causes them to want to just, you know, peak out, they end up losing rounds because of it, and they're very important rounds. But, you know, I mean, you got to think what happens, right? If Arial doesn't give back picks, or if IF find a way to stay alive from those spawn peaks, this could be a completely different way, one or the other. So 3-3, I feel like, is a pretty good middle ground position for us to be in, given everything that happened in that round. But Arial, something we've seen from them a lot over the past is trying to get this stock wall open, and there's no wall denial. There's going to be nothing they can do to get this off, and there's no player watching that F1 stairs either, so I believe that wall is going to get open, unless I'm an idiot. So good control from them. I don't think any player is playing down there at the moment, and doing a lot right there. No, that's a plant going in. Whoa, 2 players going down, 3 players going down. That's a plant going down. That's a lot.
Okay, I think they just tried to go for a Capitao execute, but IF still had the info. Maybe a bulletproof in sight that could see through the smokes. Oh my god, that guy just hopped in. Ashen's maybe going to try again. He's being actively swung by this Frost. Looking for a kill, finds it onto CZ. Can't swing onto Arrow. Can't find the flick. Ambi's alone upstairs. Can't catch the player on Chimney either. Do or die situation now for the Lion. Trying to bait for kills now, but no one's exposing themselves to him. Inrio backing off now and jumps in right in the line of sight from Arrow. The IF take the round. I like the idea from AAA, but there's too much info on IF's side, especially with the 2 BPs for that Capitao execute to be effective.
Yeah, I mean, giving picks, I think it just relied on them winning ones that aren't necessarily advantageous for them. I like the idea. They did a lot to be able to get it done, but they just, you know, weren't able to convert on an opportunity, and IF get a very important first defensive round win. Like we said earlier, I think bar is a really tough site to hold when you have a Flores on the board, and when Azami isn't on the board, it kind of relies on you getting really aggressive early in the round to be able to get that done. just because, you know, bar is kind of a util-based site. Just because, you know, if you go direct, it's really easy to be able to clear out all of these things and clear out positions if the utility is good. And they didn't try any of that at all. And surprisingly, that's where IF decided to go to first. But end of the day, it does pay out for them. And now they get to go kitchen, which is one of the better sites in my eyes on this map in general. And they have a really big opportunity right here to kind of establish a little bit of space between these two teams and give themselves a little bit of a lead, which is probably really important for them right now.
Arial swapping off the Capitao now onto the Nomad. And Capitao is an operator that AAA in particular really like running. I hope we see him again at some point. Probably back on bar to clear that corner, the corner library position out of the pot. But for now, Spiker sticks on the Nomad, ensuring that his team is not going to get run out upon. Could be an early fight on that piano window. I think that was Neo working his way up towards it. Ambi droning in Trophy, seeing that no one is holding inside of Trophy directly. It looks like the rest of Arial are, primarily concerned about this solar taken working in from below. A beautiful nade from Ashen. Depth charges CZ behind that shield and gives an opportunity to this attack to get going. Ambi from that window inside the site now, getting a kill, trying to work his way in. Ashen supporting him, kills Fens, but he dies from up above. Plant still going down from Spiker. Ashen nades himself. A C4 goes out. It baits Spiker to move. What a play from Wimpy. 200 IQ, but his teammate hits the floor. Neo and Uzi. 2 versus 1. Case surrendered in dining to the player over the top of that hatch. Wimpy still has plenty of angles to work with. Now is watching that trophy split. Uzi's going to get on the drone. Spot out where Wimpy is. Knows that he's now playing the vert. How careful are they going to be? Do they know about this angle? Wimpy's going to move off of it. Opting to play the hatch instead as the nade goes up. 1:12 for AAA to try and play this. They can go for the kill if they want. They have plenty of time. And these vertical angles are going to be really oppressive to any plant attempt they try to work. Drone comes up, still confirming that Wimpy's up here, and he catches Neo. Through the hatch, another one! Uzi's refrag unsuccessful! All they needed to do was push for the kill, play the trade. You have a whole 1:15. But instead, they just keep droning him and challenging the vertical angles. I don't get it.
I mean, Wimpy just makes an absolutely brilliant play right there and a big clutch coming out of 2v5, I believe that was. And I mean, I was going to say earlier that I can't believe they let Arial just walk in right there and get so much control so quickly and all those kills. But Arial find a way to end up throwing that. Hatch is open. I'm not really sure when you don't have that upstairs control while you're not taking into dining to get that bomb down. But Wimpy, a very big brain play, to be quite honest. They end up getting that planter to move off of the bomb deeper into a spot where he can end up getting the kill. And that right there is one of the main reasons they won that round, getting that bomb down. Big play out of him, and a 5-3 lead right here. Like we said, a little bit of space between these two teams right now. The first time we've seen this all game, and once again, big opportunity for IF to continue to get some separation and put themselves on match point.
That was an incredible play from Wimpy. 11-7, leading the charge for his team. Meanwhile, in AAA, Ashen, this is what we're used to. 12-7, top fragging the lobby right now. But I think Wimpy right now, Wimpy's got better support, especially with CZ 7-6 and the rest of his team, you know, at 4-5. Sure, they only have 4 kills, but they're only -1. Meanwhile, Arial, ACAD, Spiker, Neo, and Uzi are all sitting 3-6.
Yeah, it's not something we see often. When we say, I mean, I feel like we've been saying that a lot about this Arial Academy team lately, and wow, Wimpy just picking up right where he left off. Ambi getting smoked off the map. Another entry death for Arial, and IF just doing what they need to do to be able to get these advantages, and so much control still. You see where all of these players are, and don't get me called going out. Fens ends up getting taken down. I'm not quite sure where that is, but still so many players on the roam for IF that need to be cleared out. There's not much Arial can really do. However, there is only one player on site at the moment. And if is there
AAA spot this out, they could take that aggressive stance and take the 4v1, but they have to try and fight against a shield, which they do not want to do. The Doki call goes out once again. Arrow challenging this. Uzi picks off CZ, who I believe was playing upstairs. AAA sending more upstairs to look to clear. Ace charge, I think maybe destroying the hatch. I don't quite know where that was, but Wimpy's getting droned out. Someone's on the window, another one coming from main. That's going to force Wimpy to move, but he's going to go up, not down. Don't know if Spiker's aware of this. He could easily become fodder for the 9mm should Wimpy choose to push up. And yeah, judging by the way Spiker's playing it, he's got no idea. Easy kill for Wimpy to tie the game yet again at 3 men apiece, and he'll get away scot-free back down to site. Ashen's not there for the cutoff, and they now Arial still need to deal with this shield stopping them from pushing the breach, but he's like, Ashen's just gonna walk in, the angle's being held, Arrow still loses the fight, Inreal's 1 HP, with Uzi coming down main stairs. This is exactly what AAA needed, but Wimpy's got a third. Uzi's 1 HP, Inreal finishes him off, and Neo is stuck outside this breach, unable to make headway as the rest of his team was pushing in, and Wimpy claims 4. IF lock down the bomb site and take a 6-3 lead.
So many rounds, they're doing such a good job of just roping themselves back into these rounds. Not fantastic starts. Obviously, they had the opening pick right there, but they gave up a couple. And Wimpy, I love that he doesn't overstay his welcome upstairs. He ends up getting back to site practically scotch-free. I don't even think he took a single tick of damage. Arrow, you know, not winning that fight in blue, which was not great for him, but Imrio hitting a couple of nice shots right there, and Wimpy closing out the round again. A couple of big picks for him. He's just, right now, it feels like taking over this game, and that's something IF has really needed, because once again, CZ not doing the craziest things so far this series. Imrio not really finding his footing in this map specifically. I mean, Arrow and Fens around that average performance that we're pretty used to seeing. I mean, we kind of know what we're going to get from them, but you know, we said it over and over again. Somebody from this IF roster needed to step up in a big way, and Wimpy is doing just that right now.
Yeah, and Inrio's not even doing poorly either. Inrio and CZ are dead even because Wimpy's taking a lot of these kills. And the thing we said about IF, that someone needs to step up big, now we have to say about AAA. Who is going to join Ashen up there? If they want to win this map, if they want to bring us to overtime even, someone's got to be doing work.
Yeah, and they have the pick of whatever they want to do, to be quite honest. I mean, IF can go to any of the 3 sites for these 3 rounds, whatever they want, and they still do have a timeout to work with if they want to. So a lot favoring them right now, but we know how good Arial Academy can be. This game is not over, ladies and gentlemen. They still have to find a way to win another defense, even though they've looked quite good on it so far, and Arial actually trying to clear everything out, more of a normal take, actually pushing into the setup. So we'll see what they decide to do.
This is
a lot.
This is pretty interesting from CZ. Chilling there with castle barricades on both doorways, a fully open wall, and the hatch open for a fallback. One of his doorways will go down thanks to the Rotero from Spiker, who's going to use it to continue to flush out these defensive positions. Likely forcing CZ down the hatch now. But no, actually, I think CZ shot the drone before Spiker could let it go. So he's going to have to use his last one now on CZ, looking to get the combo. Hold him there, but it's not close enough. CZ avoids it. Really bad misplay with the utility for Spiker. And now AAA are stuck.
No nades either. They're gonna have to make a play off the flashes. Ambi gets taken down once again. Fens, big opening pick. Isizi, I think, saw him. He takes down Uzi right there. He's going to be pinged, I think, a little bit right here. Spike here does end up getting him to fall back a little bit, but a 5v3 for IF. All they gotta do is close this one out. Ashen peeking that site window, doing a lot of damage somewhere. And that's a Neo actually making this player top blue back down. And they don't know that this player is still upstairs in Rio. Finding the kill. They don't properly clear it out. Fens gets one. Wimpy gets one. And IF take Chalet over Arial Arise. I can't believe that just happened. That's just one thing we did not see coming at all.
No, Chalet is such a good map for AAA, but I have played it really well, expecting the aggression from AAA, playing on Windows, allowing AAA to basically like walk to their own deaths into those preset angles that IF had. No Solace clearly punishing IF2. They couldn't really do much against the plethora of intel that IF had on those attacks. The defenses from and the attacks from Arial just looked disjointed. Sure, the Capitao rush, they tried to go for a play, didn't work. But then, on Dining, Wimpy is upstairs. They know he's holding Vert. That's really hard to fight. They have a minute 15 to play with, and they don't work for the kill. They just died of Vert. Their garage take, Wimpy just kills 4 people with Frost because they don't have info on where he is, and instead of just working the Vert to take out the shield, they just sit outside the breach forever, are forced to push down funnels like main stairs and blue, and die. And then that last attack, I don't know what the hell Spiker was doing with those Roteros. It's so easy to get it in that corner. Like, there's nowhere CZ can move that is not into library or down the hatch, and Spiker just couldn't get the Roteros in. AAA's attacks, their defenses were fine, 3-3 split on Chalet, whatever, but their attacks were lost.
They could have won a couple more rounds as well from their defenses. They had a couple of rounds that really should have gone their way and just didn't. Even their attacks, we saw that kitchen round, Wimpy making a big play, and it felt like big plays over and over again. They had the man advantage even on that basement attack, and they weren't able to convert. And Arial, it's just, once again, uncharacteristic, but going back to those attacks is something that we noted in our pre-show. Their attacks have not looked as good this season as they have in the past. And that's going to struggle, especially on an attacker side of map like Chalet, even though it's such a bread and butter map for them. If you're struggling on your attacks, you're not going to be able to win it. But kind of crazy that the defense was so heavily favored in this. I know it was, mainly Arial, but a 3-3 split on your defenses isn't even that bad on this map. That's still quite a winnable place to be, but they just weren't able to do anything on their attacks. And that had a lot to do with the entries, it felt like.
Yeah, it was like if AAA weren't getting like a spawn peak, they were not getting the entry. IF played that really, really, really well. I love what I saw on that Chalet. And working into Villa, I don't know, both teams have lost this map. IF a little bit more recently, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We're going to take a break real quick. First, give the players a rest, time to recuperate, figure out what the sides are as IF get the privilege of choosing their starting sides. So do not go anywhere. We will have the last map of not only this series, but Swiss stage as well, just after the break.
Pollard's on a double though, and he finds a third through the smoke. It's just an ult. Yeah, he gets a 3K with an ult.
With 3 seconds left, Final lands the pre-fire. Nobody can kill him in time.
Wimpy clutches it out. What a play from the alibi as the lobby player goes unchecked.
Hello, I'm Ashton, and I play for Arial Rise Academy. Honestly, against CL teams, just like I said in SFCL interviews, they're just 18. They're just older than us. PL teams, obviously, like, you know, they're the NAL. They're going to the majors, stuff like that. Obviously, for these pro teams, they do this for a living. This is their job. You know, they go to majors day in, day out. They're breathing Siege. Us amateurs, it's kind of like catch up to do. So if we do beat a PL team, it's obviously huge for the scene and stuff like that. Chance to prove yourself and what you can really do against these pro teams, and obviously it can jumpstart your career.
What's armor?
What am I hearing? Oh, okay.
Going free, Liam.
Nothing.
Liam, I can nitro over the hatch. Nice.
So we brought on Neo from Mystic after the departure of Spiff, obviously to Astralis. I think he's genuinely a 1-for-1 for Spiff because, you know, he's got nasty mechanics, nasty aim, just like Spiff. And also he's kind of an unproven player, so he's going to get that confidence to build up himself, and he's going to really make a name for himself this SCS. He's a nasty kid, and, you know, he's going to make a lot of people proud out there. Exactly around like 2 years ago, me, Asian, Kix, and Silent, we all switched from Xbox, and Asian actually found SCS back like in SCS Season 4, and then, you know, we played the quals for SCS Season 5, and, you know, that's when we really started to get like hooked on comp. You know, Silent, he's on Parabellum now. Asian, he was on PB, so, you know, even Spiff, my longest lasting teammate, you know, he's on Astralis, so like big names, you know, they're obviously in Pro League now, so, you know, that's my ultimate goal. I want to get there, same level as them, and I think I can do that, especially with the boost that SCS might give me playing these pro teams. My dream PL team to be on would be Astralis, you know, reunited with my boy Spiff. You know, obviously he just got picked up. Playstyle, honestly, I think would fit them really well with my aggression, and I really like their culture outside of the game too, with like the gym, you know, stuff like that. Amateur teams could impact the scene, could be huge right now, because if they honestly beat a pro team, or like there's a huge upset with some like team down at the bottom that, you know, are underdogs, no one thinks that are going to beat, it could create a lot of upset potential. This league can honestly go either way with all these best of ones and stuff like that. Any amateur team, like if anyone beats a pro team, that's huge. You know, that just shows that there is that level of competition there, and, you know, there's a chance to prove yourself as an amateur. A lot of people think that my team is just like, you know, a bunch of gun skill, just a bunch of people running around, you know, killing people, but we're not just like any other team that just walks into scrims, you know, thinks we can do this, thinks we can do that. And a lot of time outside of scrims, you know, focusing on how we can get better. And obviously I think the game has changed a lot now compared to last SCS, where, you know, you can just open a strat book and you can be like, oh yeah, let's do this, let's do that. It's a lot more adapting now. And I think amateur teams, a lot of them lack the ability to adapt and like see different type of plays. I think our team is different compared to other amateur teams, because we can really see like depth inside the game and like how to adapt, what ops need to be changed, you know, where we could put things, where we could put players, you know, how we could get that first pick, stuff like that. I definitely have the worst taste on our team. Every night for dinner, chicken and rice. I get that protein in. You know, I eat like a dog. I get the protein in, so a lot of the same thing every day. I play a lot of ranked, I play a lot of Siege. It's pretty much the only game I play. Besides that, the gym, you know, I do my homework, I have a job. Other than that, you know, it's just like grind ranked, play Siege. Obviously, you all know me by Ashton. Before that, I was like 12. What we did is, you know, we took the keyboard on console, we just spammed it. Obviously, you all know me now as Ashton, but I think I had some pretty keyboard spammy and embarrassing names back on console when I was young. But now you just know me as Ashton.
Collins on a double though, and he finds a third to the smoke.
Just an ult. Getting into 3K with an ult.
With 3 seconds left, Simon lands the pre-fire. Nobody can kill him in time.
And he clutches it out. What a play from the alibi as the lobby player goes unchecked.
Welcome back. A bit of an unexpected result. Really thought AAA were in the advantage on Chalet, considering how well they handled LG, but IF came back with a vengeance, 7-3ing AAA, making sure we go to a map 3.
Yeah, and I mean, we kind of said this, that it was pretty possible to go to map 3. That was your prediction. I mean, it was my prediction in a sense, depending on what IF we got today. And IF is playing well. Players are stepping up that we said needed to step up, and they're doing just that, filling the void of players that we have seen be really consistent for them that aren't really doing that right now. So it's really good to see that a lot of players on this team are, firing on all cylinders. So we go to a Villa map, and I don't believe either team have won this map this season. So, but I will say, Harrison, what better way to cap off a great regular season, a great Swiss stage, with this kind of a series so close, whoever loses out, as we know, whoever wins makes it to playoffs. Map 3, it just doesn't end better than this.
It does not. And Villa is a map that, like you said, neither of these teams have won so far. Taking us back to Villa is certainly an interesting decision from both teams. According to the Twitter poll, Arial Arise, of course, still the favorites to win. We'll see how the ban phase goes. I think the lack of a Solus really punished AAA. I'll be looking for that ban again here for IF, as Villa is another great map for her. Nook off the board, as we usually expect. She was left up on Club, but has subsequently been banned our last couple maps. Flores now taken out by AAA, wanting to make their shield play a little bit stronger once they switch to the defensive side. Of course, IF had the choice, since they have the better round differential in this series. They chose to start defense first. The Valkyrie that was working so well for AAA. IF also acting off of it well, and it will no longer be available. And here I expect the Solus. There it is. And I'm wondering if that's going to have as negative of an impact here as it did on Chalet.
She is very, very powerful on this map, to say the least. For a different reason than on Chalet. On Chalet, kind of very good, not just for flanks, but mainly for those kind of aggressive plays like runouts and stuff, being able to see where those claymores are and stuff, because runouts can be really powerful on, tough. Well, on Chalet, having people, being able to run out and stuff is great. So that's why she's so powerful on that map. A map like Villa, slightly similar thing. There's not as many runouts that you can do, but being able to see so much, because Villa is kind of a tighter map than Chalet is, you can see a lot of utility. You can see where the droning is coming from. You can see where these flank drones are, because there's not too many spots, and flanks are big on this map. Being able to deny plant from below, specifically on AV, can't really do that on Trophy potentially if you get a bricks plant down, but she can be really good, for instance, on a Trophy, being able to assist a downstairs roam. She's just good for utility in general on this map. So it's a good ban from me. I don't think she's as powerful on Clubhouse, in my personal opinion. I think that's one of her weaker maps alongside Oregon, but end of the day, it's a good ban for me. I'm a big fan of it. IF played a lot better without it than they did with it, so you can't really complain from their side. And we do need to see how Arial can adjust with, without it. It is what they played, in that game 1, I believe. I don't believe Solus was played. I don't think it was possible. So you never know, but it's familiar territory. It's kind of what it was before, but you have a mirror up now,
and Azami.
You do have Azami. A lot of operators that, aren't very powerful. And that's one thing that I will say I am a big fan of Solus, with. She's such a powerful operator. So not only does she change the way the game is played for the most part when she is up, but, since she's so powerful, she kind of warrants a ban. So if she is banned, we see operators that we normally don't see, like Azami, which is a pretty common ban, Valk, which is a common ban, Mir is a common ban, and now Solus is a common ban. So when you have so many common bans, so many really powerful ops, you can just see these game-changing operators like Amira, like the Azami, on a more consistent basis. And that makes it way more fun from a viewer standpoint, just to be able to see so much variety in, in games now.
It looks like Neo might be sick. Hopefully that doesn't affect his performance too much. Thank you, CZ. Dining is going to be the first site for IF, holding on that downstairs. No pulse like we often see. And despite having a couple shotguns and a set of impacts, CZ is not taking C4. He also has impact. So on a very vertical site, IF only have one C4 to try and stop Neo from doing whatever it is that he wants to do. Remains to be seen if that ends up being enough, but IF are extending across the entire map. They've got players even towards study. But Ashen and Neo are walking up ground stairs. Lion Call comes out. No one acting off of it just yet. The goo mine. That could tip this defense off. That could be huge to stop this. And yeah, the Frost peeking the hatch. Ashen exposed himself to it. And Neo doesn't get the refrag. Arrow, assisted by a goo mine, single-handedly puts a stop to the fast play.
Arrow is playing a pretty good series right now, and that's definitely helping IF. A big 2 kills to start this off. I mean, looks like Arial had kind of caught IF off guard, and Arrow just quick to sniff that out, gets a couple of kills, and now Arial's really heavily on the back foot, but 2 players go down out of nowhere in a 3v3 now. Spiker, low HP, however, I mean, a little bit more worse for wear, but tough for Ambi to go down. And Arial, once again, a very action-packed and quick round.
Spiker trying to pre-fire Fens through the wall, doesn't look away. Gets caught out by Fens when he swings the door. I know exactly where Uzi is. CZ holding the angle, sends a shot his way. Inrio's close with the shotgun as well to ensure that he can get the refrag should CZ end up dying. And Uzi's not even going to get the first. CZ puts an end to the round. Looks like AAA may have been able to come back there, but it is not to be.
No, it is not to be. And Arial, the attacks, man, it's going to be big for them. They've been struggling so far up to this point. And IF do a good job at making sure, you know, on damage control, making sure that those openings, they kind of closed them up. It's like, what is it, Flex Seal? Those commercials, those infomercials where they just, where there's like the little hole in the boat and he just slaps that thing on there and it like just stops the leak. That's what it felt like right there from IF. So good stuff from them to be able to do it, get an important first round. And, you know, Arial, their attacks have been rough. And if it continues to be on that trend of their attacks being rough, we could see them fall to a pretty early deficit, and that's not something you can necessarily afford to do on a map.
The Ying is being brought out by Ashen on an AVG take.
So aggressive.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Wonder where he's going to go with that. You could use the Candelas to work your way through study or force top main. You could also use it after a master over to wedge yourself into skull. So, different options available to Ashen. Judging by the spawns, it looks like it's going to be one of the first 2, either main stairs or study. Might be the primary take here for AAA. Study window already going down. 1 player spawning, I think, by the master side of things. That's Spiker. Probably just looking to work a cutoff with that Lion. Of course, he doesn't need to be with the team to actually use his utility. And Neo's being droned out underneath. And he's looking for nade kills. We haven't actually seen a lot of vert nade kills this entire series. It's been surprising.
Not as powerful. I mean, we know from the nade nerf, but I feel Inrio's pain right there, still making floor holes so deep into the round, and which does get rid of one of the ADS's. CZ kind of in a tough spot, but Fens does get that opening kill again. We've seen him really start to step it up lately on those entries, something I have had really been needing for a long while, and CZ now stuck on main stairs a little bit right here. He's gonna have to try and get out. That nade going out, and he does get taken down. That is the main stairs player being taken out, and a minute 40 left in the round, and Arial kind of got a little bit of control right now, but Inrio has found himself books in a spot to really stall this main stairs push. Those smokes are going out. Good from him. 3 C4 still from IF is something that needs to be noted, and nades going out and being wasted for the most part. They only have 1 left. The Ying allows them to get up the stairs, like you said earlier. They do that, but they've used so much utility to make that happen.
Ambi gets a kill back, though, to swing the man advantage in his team's favor, and Ashen has 2 Candelas in his pocket. More than enough for the makings of a site execute. Last nade comes out from AAA, likely to deal with a bit of utility. Still a player in 90 that AAA has to worry about. It's Wimpy, armed with the SMG-11. He and Arrow backed off towards the skull door to try and hold the walk-in. Wimpy now playing close with the shotgun, most likely, as another Goyo pack goes out. And Uzi separates from the main force, going for a solo lurk, but Arrow is holding his staircase, assisted by the barbed wire. In go the Candelas. Arrow gonna get blinded as he swings through, collapsed upon by Uzi. Nice 1-2 punch to get a 4 versus 2 for AAA. Another Candela goes out, blinds Wimpy through that rotate, and AAA force themselves in. Now the diffuser's going down from Ambi. Ashen's covering, but goes down to Inrio. Brilliant shot from the smoke. Plant gets completed. Now at 3 versus 2. 2 versus 1. Wimpy and Ambi end up trading each other out. And Inrio's got a tough task ahead of him, especially with that plant spot. It's not like you can long arm it from around a corner. He's going to be fully exposed to that skull door and a potential swing from one of the attackers. No one's placed on study. He runs past, starts getting that counter defuse. He's right behind the doorway, baits out Neo. Now Uzi's got to win the fight against a shotgun up close. 15 seconds left, and he gets him! The one pump! Inrio, triple kill to win it! Arial Academy play the post plant so poorly, and IF go up 2-0.
Why did they both push? Why did they both push? Inrio takes advantage of, like you said, not a good post plant, and they find a way to lose another attack. It looked so good again, and Inrio just making the plays once again. He's been their guy for not this series specifically, but just over the course of this season, and he's just proving once again that, god dang it, he's still got it.
Wonderful stuff for Inrio. Arial Academy getting the plant down, having that 4 versus 2, immaculate 1-2 punch with that Candela plus red walk up from Uzi to get that man advantage, but too many bodies lost on the site. Ashen going down on the coverage thanks to Inrio. Ambi trading himself out. I mean, that's a really winnable 1 versus 2. I talked about how the plant spot could be rough, but I thought it was farther up than it actually was, which gives Inrio that slight bit of cover from the player by the board door. That was Neo. That slight bit of cover that he needs to go for that play, bait out the swing. Neo was not gun up for whatever reason, and like you had mentioned, Uzi walked up with him and was victimized by that shotgun. I mean, that was quite the one pump from Inrio.
It was.
AAA are just making these mistakes. It was the mistakes we were seeing from LG, from the match against LG too, over and over and over again. And it's so weird to see because they're not mistakes that we're used to them making.
We're not used to them really making many mistakes at all, let alone these huge ones. You know, it's not like it's just not necessarily unheard of, but we're seeing them not only at all, because we haven't really seen them at all before, but we're seeing them on such a consistent basis. And I'm kind of at a loss for words for it for the most part, but Fens does get taken down, and that's 2 players getting really low right there from a study window peek by I don't know who, and I think he's getting ready to do it again. Wimpy, he just wants all the smoke right now.
He thinks there might be a drone thanks to those pre-fires going his way. Speaking of drones, there are 2 minutes remaining in this round. Only 4 left with a Twitch drone in Ambi's pocket. That's not a whole lot of info to work with for this attack. They'll have to be pretty sparing with it from now on. More damage being done to the attack as Spiker goes down to about half HP, attempting to get his hard breach through, and Ashen, through the Astro Hatch, gets another kill. That's Inrio dead on the smoke. That's huge, and I would honestly give up Ambi for that, considering the utility advantage and the time advantage you now have. With no C4 and no smokes, there's nothing for the defense to indirectly stop a plant attempt.
That timing was really close from him getting taken down, but Ashen, a big kill right there. Ooh. Second one from him. What a time for him to start stepping up. An Arial, a pretty dominant round for the most part to get themselves back into this game. And all off the back of that opening pick, and Ashen working his way up those Astro stairs to just make a play happen, something they've needed for oh so long.
Yeah, that was a Pretty incredible walk up from Ashen to just get 2 kills in Astro. Following that kill through the hatch, there's nothing downstairs to stop him from doing that, which is a little odd considering how much downstairs like a setup there was from one of those players. Maybe they just fell off of it really quickly, giving Ashen that space to work. But either way, like you said, AAA put themselves back in the match. Dining our next fight, where IF were able to start things off with a win. AAA had a cheeky fast play up Brown that got kind of smoked. So now we can see how they actually decide to take this site. But they're making a decision I don't necessarily agree with.
What are they bringing the Twitch
Thatcher for Sledge.
What are they bringing the Twitch for?
Meaning they don't really have anyone to work vert.
I mean, I guess they are committed to a horizontal. It's kind of the only thing, obviously, I can think of, which isn't necessarily a terrible thing. They can get that work the memo wall of the Thatcher, not have to worry about really nading over. Only 1 set of nades, however, and yet is a little bit of a horizontal. Putting somebody on study balk to make sure that nobody can get too aggressive, but that's already Twitch rune going down. And like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of bringing the Twitch in the first place, and oh, he's just going to hop reach into 90. Wimpy is now stuck right in this position. Nowhere to really go. He can't fall back, and I'm not sure that they know this player is in 90.
Now they do. Ashley just took some damage, but the nade from Uzi down below grabs Wimpy. There we go. A nice floor nade. We've been missing those. We've only seen like 1 or 2 so far this entire series. Brilliant work from Uzi. That takes out the only study player, and that frees up Ashen to go on the hunt for Arrow. Frost knows something's up, especially with the amount of drones coming in, but he lets Ashen slip by and still gets the kill! He still nabs him! Only 1 bullet's worth of damage taken. Now AAA, they've lost their spearhead. They've got to replace him somehow and kill Arrow before they go for this execute.
Yeah, and Arrow can just do so much work up here. They're going to have to do whatever they can to get rid of him, and he's not able to find the kill. Uzi ends up winning that out, but they now have upstairs, but you noted it earlier, they don't have vert. The only thing they can do is Spiker's breaching charges, and Inrio does have a C4 to work with. That nitro cell could go up whenever, but Spiker isn't even up there, and Neo goes down to CZ. Still a C4 to work with, and Spiker is starting to work over towards the pantry side of the map. Uzi starting to drone out as well, and minute left. They don't have as much control as you feel like they should for how they've taken the map and not taking advantage of the position that they have right now. And CZ has found himself in this corner, does get droned out. Reposition is in 40 seconds, Harrison. IF feels still in a prime position to win this round.
Yeah, especially with the kill on the Neo as he was jumping through that master windows. CZ already had a preset angle below. And the drone earlier didn't go far enough to spot Fens. That's not even going to matter. Uzi can't make his way in sight. He just tries to go solo, and he's decked by CZ. Ambi's going to try and work pantry, but CZ knows exactly where he is. Spiker's going to need to help, but there's Fens. His position still unknown, getting caught. C4 shot in the air, but now Ambi's pistol out in a 1 versus 2, sprinting around, and 1 pumped by Inrio, who has been a shotgun savant. IF with their 3rd point.
A big round win once again for them, but Arial Rise, what was the plan? Like, what was the plan right there? They took so much of the map to just ISO kitchen, working down blue stairs when they didn't clear living at all, and Fens was in that position. Obviously, he didn't get a kill really right there. He wasn't required to, but it just feels like their plans aren't necessarily good. And they lose another round. They have to go to AV, which they had the huge advantage last time they did go here. Off the back of Inrio's stellar clutch with Wimpy doing a little bit of a good job as well. He contributed pretty much a lot to that. So Arial have an opportunity to kind of bring something back a little bit here, but IF are playing pretty well at the moment. They're kind of on damage control. There's a lot of mistakes that they're still making, but they're kind of making up for it for good plays coming out of certain players. And, you know, individual play right now is going really well from every single player on that roster. We talked about it. If all 5 players can play well, and that C4 does go out. That'll hit. Ashen goes down to Wimpy. A big opening pick for them. Something that they did have last time they went here. They gave one back, but Ashen, even if his performances have not been great lately, he's still such a big impact player for this team, and losing him this early is not a great start.
Yeah, especially too after his performance on the previous map. He was leading the charge for AAA. Now he'll be silenced on the AVG attack. Got to figure out how to work around CZ. No Ying this time to force the main stairs player back. I don't know where that... Oh, the nade clearing barbed wire on the bottom, I guess. I think maybe a bit of a waste considering how little destructibility you have now that you've lost Ashen. Though I think Spiker might still have a Gone 6. He'll have to use his flashes to burn away the utility here. He's working somewhere else, I think on the study window. So these nade players are kind of alone, trying to figure out how they're going to take out CZ, but that's a great nade. There's the burn from Ambi. They opt to use the smokes instead. Uzi forces CZ off the shield with the nade and collects the headshot. Inria now using his last gas canister to stop the main stairs walk up. And without a Ying, this is not going to be quite as easy for AAA.
Yeah, and he doesn't
unless he just backs off.
Yeah, he's not going to shoot that Goyo, which is pretty not great. A little bit of a waste of utility that could have wasted another 20 seconds, as we know. But they are now out of nades. Spiker taking a lot of damage, which I believe is from Nasser. But Arrow, a beautiful shot to take down Ambi as well. Now that's the Twitch hitting the deck. Arrow taking a lot of damage, but Fens could swing out whenever he misses the shots, and Uzi ends up getting 2 right there. Inrio, Wimpy left on their own once again, but this time no C4 and no smokes to work with. Spiker taking some damage off of Inrio right there, and Goyo's out. It does cut off Wimpy as well. He's holding such a passive angle. Inrio in a tough spot right here. Wimpy taking damage here as well, but all 3 players are going to start to flood through. Not able to find the kill. Inrio stuck in a really bad spot. Both players stuck in a really bad spot for the moment, and Inrio finds one. That's actually Fens going in and getting a trap. He's actually puts Uzi on the floor as well. Neo in a 1v2. Both players playing pretty close together. Not able to find the kill. And Inrio, Wimpy, do it again. Another defensive round win. Arial had the advantage again, but not able to close it out.
I just don't get it. AAA stormed into study Uzi with 3 kills, trying to put the team on his back, but it's not enough. I mean, they're in games. They have Case. And they just can't kill Inrio. Inrio got away with murder like 3 times. Peeking in and just not getting killed, taking damage. And fighting back. They played around that bar position so poorly that Wimpy had enough time to completely rotate around 90. There was no one in Skull anymore. That vault plant was safe and sound, but AAA were so hell-bent on getting the kill. I mean, Spiker walked into a freaking cap can trap. I'm pretty sure with the EDDs facing them, too, because they were on the Skull door. This is probably the poorest I've ever seen AAA play. And IF are pummeling them for it. They are taking full advantage of every tiny mistake that AAA is making.
Late round, it's just not looking good. The plan just isn't there, and it's not something we've seen really from Spiker. We're accustomed to him doing so well with those, and he's just not really having that same late round success as we're accustomed to seeing. And it's resulting in them losing rounds that they probably shouldn't be losing. They realistically could be up 3-2 right now just from that site alone on those attacks. And you know, the mirror now comes out from Arrow, a good adjustment from them, not something they brought out last time, and it's going to allow them to get a little more aggressive on these master players over here. And this is obviously their tertiary site. They looked pretty uncomfortable on it last time, and it was the only site that, you know, AAA did win. So you have the Azami now. You have a Mira. You have so much to worry about that direct take, and if you can just limit Ashen's play up those blue stairs, it's looking like IF could take a pretty commanding lead going into their attacks.
Arial 6-1.
Pretty sure all those
That guy
kills
has
were in those
died.
two clutches.
That guy has died in one singular round, and it was the round that AAA stormed into Astro, and he died through the Astro hatch to Ashen. As the only time he's died so far, and he has been influential in every other round win for IF. He is the guy that Arial ACAD need to take out. And Fens playing aggressive on this Kiba barrier. Flashbangs going his way. Another Kiba ready and waiting. The air jab just going right above him. He shoots that easily. Mirror window on the master wall to support. Yeah, the freaking signal disruptor there to stop the Hibanas. I love that. But Fens is going to finally get exposed thanks to that nade. He may have had a mute jammer, but no ADSs. He'll be forced to back off, but Kiba's still there. Finally, it goes down, and Fens does not have time to react. He's dead. Ashen picks off the Terminator. Inrio now gone. Uzi holding the stairs, kills CZ as Ashen walks up. Arrow trades a lot of blows and is finally finished by Neo. And AAA, there's no way they throw this round. There we go. Flawless for Arial ACAD.
Good thing they didn't. I think he would have had an aneurysm if they found a way to lose this round. Good stuff from them, really, though. It's good stuff, really, from them to be able to get it back. 4-2, not the worst thing in the world, but, I mean, looking back on it, it could be a much bigger lead for them right now. So, it's tough to see that from Arial, that when this game really feels like that it should be almost closed out already, but not able to do so. But IF, their attacks, as we saw on Chalet, weren't fantastic, and they weren't fantastic really either on Clubhouse. So we'll see how it works out. It'll probably be big on the entries, as we've seen. We've said this over and over again. Heavily relies on those entries and those mid-round adjustments, since that is kind of their weakness right now. So if they can continue to, keep up on those entries, that's my win condition from them, and Arial just needs to continue to make these aggressive plays. That's how they were winning their defenses on Chalet, and that's how they're going to win their defenses right now.
10 seconds to go.
Hopefully AAA ramp up that aggression, but they don't get too aggressive. We saw on Chalet, we were talking about aggression a lot, and AAA were getting a little too sick with it in a couple of those rounds, and all IF had to do was just sit on windows and wait. If you're a AAA fan, hopefully, for your sake, they don't do that again. Nice to see Uzi waking up as well. He was really struggling in the first couple maps, but is 9-4 after the attacking half. A couple defenders downstairs. There's 3 of them. 2 of them spotted by the drone. 1 will rotate back up, leaving it to the Cap Can and his buddy, I think it was, Ashen on the Goyo, who will also now rotate up.
They're doing this.
But IF, because of the downstairs play, are looking for a fast push in. Fens is the first in the building. He takes a little bit of damage.
He thought it was a clone!
Uzi, he gets traded! Arrow was able to catch him before he could finish. v2, and then Ambi just decided to walk out Books and shoot him in the back. That was a good defense from AAA. Even though the storm in from IF looked successful at first, especially with Ooze, being able to down the Iana, but immediately get traded it looked like it was going to go IF's way. But especially with Fens going down, he wasn't able to storm into the site and take the important site control. So all IF really had was study. And as they funneled in, AAA stormed up the main stairs. They had the open angles into study as well from the bomb site. Those bomb site players were still safe. They didn't have to worry about Fens, and they were able to get those trades. Great job to AAA for sticking it out in that round. Bring us to 4-3. If they win this defense, then Joe, we'll have game on our hands.
We already do, to be quite honest with you, and we have for a while. It's good to see them winning the fights. Arial kind of just needed to do that. I think that's a big confidence round for them. A lot of that was squaring up, really just taking fights. IF relied on winning fights to be able to win that round because it didn't really feel like, to me, that the opportunity to rush was necessarily there. And Fens, kind of unfortunately, thought that Uzi was a clone and didn't shoot at him. He little hesitation right there when Uzi wasn't even looking at him. He ends up getting taken down. And you think if he ended up winning that fight, that round goes a little bit differently, but not able to convert. Yeah. And this is going to come down to me on whoever's winning their fights. I think both teams, IF more than Arial, are playing pretty well together on this map. And I think that if, it's just going to come down really when the important 1v1s go down, who's going to win them? To me, that's how this is going to shape up, how it's going to play out. And I think right now on that round, Arial won their fights, but it's kind of been back and forth this entire game.
And I feel like in a situation like this, I don't know if you can reasonably rely on just the fights to keep consistency, but at least they have an opening frag. Fens dusted really early on. They lose a crucial set of nades. CZ's only got one remaining. Who was it that got the kill? Was it Neo?
I believe it was Amber. Are we both dumb?
Maybe. I wasn't looking.
I believe it was Ambi. I could be wrong.
All right, I'm gonna write down Ambi then. If you're wrong, then that's on you. Arrow continuing to try to do something with his hard breach. The Kiva barrier, I think, now finally getting cleared. Bit of the master wall open as well, so he got the angles in, and Wimpy just hops through the hatch window. He's allowed to get out.
That was a little bit of a sneaky play, but that gets him a lot of space now to work with, and he does get out with his life. Still has those EMPs. And CZ now is going to start throwing up some nades. He has this space to work with, and Ashton's working down the stairs. And no! He didn't see it, and he's just going to sprint out. Does he know? He doesn't know which one it was.
He doesn't know which one it is. Ooh,
that's tough.
Should IF push farther in, that means he could get res. We'll have to see if they have the opportunity. Now we have Wimpy working in from the backside, leaving CZ and Arrow to their own devices. Call goes out. Uzi, the first one to take an initial engagement, but Wimpy is holding steadfast. Not wanting to give his life up. Doesn't want to give away the pick and give Arial that firm man advantage that they're looking for. That's why Wimpy is being so careful. He'll probably wait for CZ and the rest of his team to make some noise, and that could be what he comes in on. CZ with a kill. Spiker just exposes himself to the window, and Arrow kills him before he hops in. The shotgun from Ashen. He spots one, gets the kill, and gets away. Uzi on the other side shuts down Wimpy. Ashen with a shotgun going for 3, but dies to the prone CZ. Now it's a 1 versus 1. 5 seconds left.
The shield.
CZ's stuck on this plant, but he's behind the shield. Uzi's got to rush in. CZ's got the shield to play behind, but he runs away. He turns his back. Every advantage in the world for CZ, but Uzi clutches it. 12-5 for the alibi, and a tie game for AAA.
Oh, I gotta know what this says. I gotta know what this says. Easy. Oh no, not like this. Not like this. I'm sure everyone's gonna see that. A little showmanship from Uzi and tying our game up at 4, Harrison. This is starting to go down to the wire, and this is where the difference between good players and great players come in. These are the moments that people scrim every day for. It's what they work hard for. The difference between these two teams, it's just going down to the wire. And whoever can find the grit, find it deep down, dig deep down to find a way to win this game.
AAA now looking for the perfect site rotation to take their first lead on map 3. Leaning into some traps with Cap Cannon Legion now being played. We'll see how many bodies Arial decide to stick upstairs. I like the Azami still in play from Spiker too. He could be one of those players upstairs. I imagine we'll probably see the Legion up there too, unless this is a horizontal extension. I just saw him in Living. I saw one in Living, I thought. Oh, maybe it was Ashen who's just... Oh, okay, he could just be rotating around to get his Capcan traps in.
Oh, there it is.
Oh my god, not the main door spawn peek.
Not the main door run out. I really hope he does this. I'm not sure he's going to. Does he get the timing right? Fens comes out on top in that fight, and now Uzi looking to get aggressive right here as well. And IF, big opening pick from them. That's the entry. They haven't really been... What the heck? What the flip?
All right. All good.
All good. You know, back in my day, they called that all good in the hood.
Uzi might be the next to come under fire as he's slowly backing away from Living Room. A couple of goo mines being spotted by the attack, and his trap usage will likely be thwarted. EMP going out on the pantry wall to allow Arrow to breach it. So now the attack has that long line of sight, and Uzi re-aggressing into Living Room is cut off by Fens. 2 kills now for the Iana. Spiker trying to work some vertical play above, I think that's Clock. Will be above that China door. Ambi and Neo left to work the anchor game. It looks like Ambi might want to get aggressive.
They're going to have to do something here, because 5v3, you have to try and make something work, but I don't think they have that information right now. And Ambi now spotted out. He does get a kill, but down to 1 HP, not barely evading. Oh my jeez! Wimpy just gets destroyed off the window, and all of a sudden, Ambi ties up the man count. He brings us to an even. CZ does find one upstairs, however, and that gives them upstairs to work with. Vert. He has that vert if he wants. Ambi also on 1 HP. A C4 will be in the hands of Neo. And wow, Ambi, another one on the round. Harrison, Ambi is doing everything in his power to try and propel them into a lead.
He really wants to win this. Neo's holding the long angle, daring Arrow to jump in jail. Both he and Fens now have to work horizontally. In comes the jumping, but Neo whiffs. C4 comes out, could find the pick, but it's shot in midair. He'll now be relegated to holding the shotgun position, but has to back away because of those wall bangs. Ambi is 1 HP. Neo cannot afford to lose his life, but he gets a nice swing on the Arrow, and Ambi, 1 HP, 4 kills. Arial take the lead for the first time on Villa.
And what a time for Ambi to step up. Just does everything he possibly can, takes all the fights, and that is going to be a pause. IF need this so badly. A timeout taken. A little bit of time to regain some composure. They still do have it to work with, but this next round coming out of the timeout, Harrison, we've talked about this before, it's going to be so important. If they can't find a way to win this next attack, personally, I don't want to talk too early. I don't want to say anything too early. Don't want to say anything too crazy, but I do not see them really finding their footing, and I think Arial Arise are going to be able to close it out.
And we already saw that a couple times from IF, taking a timeout and AAA still winning the round right after. We saw it on Clubhouse. This is dangerous territory for both teams. AAA, the 3 successful defenses in a row, but I do have to say, Joe, they've been really close. That trophy round came down to a clutch. Like, it was a 2 versus 4 for IF that they still brought down to a 1v1 post plant. And that last round, the only reason AAA had a chance in hell at winning it was because Ambi might just be the best mechanical player in the lobby. Like,
I mean, yes. Yes.
yeah, like,
Not much to
AAA
say.
cannot
Yes.
keep getting away with it. Like, and I'm not just.
Oh, they
like,
can.
I don't know, bro.
They
I don't
can.
know. Can they for another 2 rounds after IF take the timeout? With Wimpy on Ash? Never mind, he's not Thatcher. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, it's been working for AAA here and there, but like we saw in Chalet, it's not consistent enough.
No.
And these rounds on Villa are just coming way too close for comfort. If IF take this round here, then we go back to being nervous for both teams. I think AAA needs to win, like a normal round. And Ashen is doing this again.
This is what makes... doesn't end up getting the kill, the timing. I think IF was ready for that. I think they kind of sniffed that out pretty well right there. But this is what makes Arial Arise Academy so great over time. Even when they're not playing well, the individual talent and the ability to make plays. For instance, Ashen making the play on that 1 trophy attack. Ambi, that last round. Uzi, time and time again, clutching out these rounds. That individual talent will be the difference maker when things seem pretty even. And IF have to find a way to mitigate that, to play well together. And Neo does go down. That Goyo canister is going to separate them. And I'm not sure they even saw that he was down. Did they?
Might be Resable?
It'll be Resable. Never mind.
Oh no, he's not! Wimpy! That's crazy!
Big brain Twitch pick.
Wimpy actually just killed Neo with a Twitch drone. That is wild. That gives him the opening pick. No C4 trade from Ashen as he works his way up red stairs. Fen survives with half HP, though he will die to a Capkin trap if the utility comes into play.
Of course.
Fen's very nervous about pushing in. He knows about this guy top red. Ashen's looking to swing and he wins it. Gets that equalizer, looks for more, but Inrio with a Claymore outskills Spiker. Uzi, a follow-up death now. As IF lead 4 versus 2. Ashen needs to make something happen. If he dies for free, then the round is over, but his teammate falls, and now he's left with it all to do. The drone comes out, it sees him, they know where he is, he's boxed in, and IF take that even round count. After the successful timeout, we're back to 5-5.
Amazing bounce back from them out of the timeout. We said it. They had to come back and win a round, and they do just that and look pretty dominant for the most part doing it. And that's exactly what they needed. Get themselves a little bit more momentum now, excuse me. And Ashen was in prime position to make that play that we just talked about, the big play. One that Arial Arise has been somewhat reliant upon for the last few rounds, and they do a great job at making sure that Ashen doesn't get more than 1 kill right there. Even though, he wasn't traded right away, they do a good job at making sure that they don't just feed the guy and just kind of throw the round away. And now we're at 5-5. They're going to go back to a trophy, one that was very close the last time we went here. And IF have really reestablished themselves back into this game.
Yeah, that round was crucial.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's back to being anyone's game, really. However, it was a 4-2 defensive half for IF. Nothing
There's no
right
zombie.
now that's saying that Arial ACAD can't do the same thing. I am predicting overtime, Joe, I must say.
Right now, I have to say I agree with you, but no
guess what?
zombie.
Guess what, too?
What?
If we go to overtime, it means that we have double 4-2 halves, right? An 8-4 split in the favor of the defense. Arial start on defense in overtime. They could have the advantage.
They could. It's true.
Should this get pushed. But they need to actually get 6 points first. And like you just highlighted, AAA had a fantastic start to this round, but it came down to the wire. A 1 versus 1 that CZ just misplayed off of a lack of info. Had he sat behind that shield and taken the fight, I think he would have won that.
For sure. But obviously he didn't have that audio. I think if he hears that player there, I think he knows, to play the shield, if he had known that player was there, I don't think they knew that he dropped. So, I don't think they knew that he was that close. So a tough one from that, but I like that they have presence on both sides. They do have Wimpy kind of on that lurk, but this opening pick is going to be huge. Whoever can find this is really going to propel themselves into a big advantage that is
what the heck
really
is going
so
on here?
needed.
Nah,
Does he find this?
Wimpy, Inrio knows.
What is
this?
Oh, stop. He does now.
Oh, he gets away though.
The timing.
Unfortunate that Inrio had to drone for himself there.
I like Wimpy's patience over there. I'm sure that they're going to dedicate a player over there to be able to watch for him on that lurk, as long as they kind of stay patient over there. So that might be a free pick given back to Arial, but that rotate comes through. They make one. I'm not sure they know that that's there. And Rio's not on the window, so Ashen can really swing out whenever he wants. And Ambi swings
worked
out.
his way in? How?
That rotate right there, it ends up going in, and Inrio is on this rappel way too late, and he doesn't even end up sticking it. Uzi does get that freebie on the other side of the map, like I said, and Arial put themselves in a very good position to set themselves up for a match point and a series point.
And Ashen is ready and waiting for CZ to try and attempt an Astro flank. 2 drones left for IF that are controllable, and both of them are on the field. Uzi's lit up. Ambi's about half, but that's really all the attack has going for them right now. Ashen re-aggressing towards bathroom, continuing to smoke it out and try to stall this attack. 30 seconds remaining. CZ pushing up, loses the swing to Ambi. Another for Ambi. He does not want to lose this game. In comes the swing from Inrio, lands one, but Ambi, another 4K, puts AAA on match point.
And he is just, once again, doing so much work. The plays from him are really being the difference maker right now. And without him, Arial could be in so much trouble, but he is just performing at such a high level right now. He did in that LG series, and he's doing it again. Right when they need him, he steps up, and they are now on series and, to be quite honest, playoff point.
This is so, dude, I am shaking. It is so close. And Ambi right now, in 2 rounds, not 2 rounds in a row, but 2 round wins in a row for AAA. Both the recent round and that dieting defense, the difference maker has been Ambi. He is 15-7. Uzi chugging along as well. By far and away the leaders for AAA. Someone on IF needs to step up and stop them. Whether it be Inrio, whether it be Wimpy, who on the first 2 maps was having a hell of a series, but has slowed down a little bit on Villa. Will it be CZ, consistently the best player on this roster throughout SCS? Could it be Fens? Will he be activated in the next 3 minutes? Or will AAA continue to just feed off of Ambi and Uzi, swinging everything and winning?
Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
I hate that show.
I'd never really watched that much.
I
watched it as a kid.
Dragon Ball guy.
I watched it as a kid, but like not enough. You know what I mean? Like when it was on, like I'd watch it. Yeah,
that's understandable.
But Ambi once again looking for some early picks, and it's going to be important. Once again, that entry pick is going to tell the story of this round, and whoever can find it will be put in such a good place. And I mean, like you said, somebody on IF needs to really just be the guy. They had one all the time, whether it was CZ, Inrio, Wimpy, whoever it is, needs to do it, and they need to do it now. There's no better time for someone to get in and get this done, but it's going to be tough. 2 minutes left in the round. Really just will decide the fate of both of these teams. A big 2 minutes. Harrison, what do you think so far?
Oh, I was about to say I like AAA's chances if he gets that kill, but he'll just send a shot Fens' way, make Neon a little bit more nervous about pushing. That could have been a kill.
The C4.
They were not in position to act off of it. Ashen lives to fight another day. So many C4s underneath the attacker's feet. Both Ashen and Spiker raring to go with the utility. As soon as they get a call from the player on red stairs, the nade will miss. A follow-up from CZ. But the C4 to answer! The explosive in response takes out the sledge. Opening pick, but the trade from Fens catches Ashen attempting to flank up Astro. Now it's a 4 versus 4. Although AAA had the early lead, we've now been equalized with a minute left, and Wimpy separated from the rest of the attack. Ambi's looking to walk out on him, but he dies. Wimpy catches him. The big player for Arial ACAD now dead, and IF, this is their best chance to bring us to overtime.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any Goyos left. There's no way that they can get this planter out of the vault plant. If they end up being able to get in, that's one smoke. Shield down as well. Vault's open. Uzi, they know where he is. They know he's on couches. Uzi, the world on his shoulders. It goes out, trades with Fens, but he goes down, and they give up that study control. Damage being taken out, but Spiker, a big kill. Inrio forced to run in. Ariel down to 1 HP, but he ends up getting taken down and traded. Spiker stuck right here, he swings in, and he wins the 1v1. Arial Arise Academy put themselves into playoffs in such dramatic fashion. I can't believe my eyes, Harrison.
How do they do it? How? In 2 rounds for AAA, the dining defense and trophy defense, Ambi went from 7-7 to 15-7, but they didn't even need him to get a kill on the last one. Uzi trading himself out with Fens, the man on Skull Door, weakening that avenue of attack. And that kill was so important because now you split those attackers, the last 3. One is Skull, one is 90 Repel, one is Study. And AAA act off of it. Spiker, a massive play working his way in. 3 kills, no, 4 kills now that I think about it. Because of that C4 earlier he got onto CZ. Spiker stepping up when the team needed him most. I think he was something like...
He was like 1-9, man.
Like, yeah, like 1-9?
He was like 1-9.
He was, okay. He was 1-8.
Wow.
4 kills to finish things out from Study. Letting Wimpy into Study, then immediately amending the mistake. I thought for a second, when Inrio was firing in and killed Neo, I thought Spiker lined up for him, but he had a refrag on the player already in the bomb site. The ace had to go hunting, and the PMM, unfortunately for the ace, is one of the best pistols in the game. 2 shots and you are down. It's like a close range. They called it the pocket DMR for a reason. So that is actually, in terms of round wins, Joe, back to back to back 4Ks. I mean, it's just incredible.
It's that individual talent.
I have no words.
I have words. What a freaking series. That was incredible.
Whew.
Top to bottom. I feel blessed to have casted it, let alone watched it. And I mean, good luck to Arial Arise in playoffs, but it's just such a tough way to lose from IF.
Definitely.
But they put up a fight. They played well. But in the end, just wasn't enough of a step up from anyone in particular to be able to shut down those individual plays from Arial Arise Academy, and they end up falling because of it.
Yeah, with how Villa started too, IF had to be, I mean, their confidence had to be soaring through the roof with all the mistakes from AAA that IF were capitalizing on, not only at the beginning of Villa, but like the whole time on Chalet as well. I mean, winning Chalet that dominantly, the confidence had to be so high for IF, but then come the defense, we always talk about the aggression from AAA, so much easier to play on the defense, and it was just solo play after solo play those last 3 points, and AAA came out with it. And you know who we get to talk to, Joe? We get to talk to the man of the hour, back-to-back 4Ks to try and get that 5th and 6th point. We got Ambi.
Hey. What's up, Crow?
What a series, man. Not only from you individually, but the team as a whole. So first off, right, you guys unfortunately had Uzi had his Canadian White Stairs moment on Clubhouse. You lost it 8-7 to LG, and then I have Pickett against you. What were the thoughts going into the first map?
Well, our thoughts are the only way they picked that map is if they have crazy counters for us, and I'm pretty sure they did because we went down 2-4 on attack. We could open half the time on attack for Clubhouse. We got like no walls open, so I mean they counted us good for a Clubhouse attack. I assume that's why they picked it. But yeah, I mean, we get off attack, the counters are gone, and we're just defense warlords. I would Solus every round. That was so busted.
Yeah.
I got like 4 opening kills on that map with Solus. It's insane.
Speaking of Solus, too, you know, with how well you guys handled LG on Chalet, using the Solus too, yesterday 7-2. I mean, well, not yesterday, but the last series, you guys like trounced them, and then they take the Solus away, and you guys really fumble on Chalet. Do you think that was a part of why you guys dropped the map?
Honestly, I don't think so. Like, we were like, the comms were like beautiful. Like, we were energetic, Chalet. Like, we got the attack in half, and like, I don't know. I think winning that 1v4 really like changed the momentum of Chalet. I think if we win that, that's a whole different game. But that 1v4 kind of hurt us a lot. That's the way. Okay, it would have been 4-4. Like, you get the momentum, and that's about it. We just lost momentum on Chalet after 1v4.
Yeah, and then working your way, you know, onto Villa too, where they stick that Solus ban, and going down 4-2 on your attacking half. I mean, what were the thoughts going into half number 2? Did you think it was just going to be like Clubhouse? You guys were just going to go full defense warlords again?
Well, me and Ashton were like, history repeats itself. Back on WWA CAD, we were down 4-2 on the same map, same scenario, and we won 7-5. So it happened again, and our defenses are amazing. We know we are amazing at defense. No, so I mean, our defense is just beautiful, way better than our attack that game, I guess.
Yeah, especially from you. I mean, on that dining round and trophy round, it really seemed like you just did not want to lose the game. I mean, dude, the shot you hit, I think on Wimpy,
yeah.
Dude, outside pantry, that he immediately typed "wow." I had to agree.
It'll be on Twitter.
Oh, I hope so. I look forward to seeing it. That was pretty incredible. So, I mean, talking about the series as a whole, I mean, coming from, you guys lost to WW in the beginning of the season. You lost a very, very close game to LG. And I won't lie, even though you lost this series, it still looked like there were a lot of struggles, like a lot of big mistakes that we're not used to seeing from you guys. I mean, what do you think is kind of going wrong and preventing you guys from being as dominant as you once were?
I mean, I guess, like, we just have 2 new players with, you know, kind of dropped Spiker, and he came back. So, and then we have Neo, so we're kind of like a new system we're using, and we just make too many like little mistakes. Like the little mistakes are killing us. We have like amazing early round, like we get the first pick almost every round, and it's just like this little minor mistakes mid round and execute that just cost us rounds. I think once we fix those, we're just unbeatable.
Yeah, well, that's something Joe and I noticed. Like, it's not like you guys are having like crashing and burning. It's like this one tiny opportunity, and of course LG and IF, they're CL teams. They know how to take advantage of those, and they were crushing you guys for it. But and speaking of the new players, right? Spiker's coming back. I imagine he's also right co-IGLing with Ashen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much us too.
Okay. And how has Neo been fitting in place of Spiff? Like, how have you had to change the system to work around him?
I mean, you know, obviously Spiff is irreplaceable. You know, that guy's Leon Estrella. So I mean, Neo's doing a great job, like in his role. Like, I mean, we're adapting to him. He's calming great. He's hitting the shots. I mean, just there's no other player we would have gotten besides Neo. Like, he's great for a new player.
It was interesting too seeing Neo come in, like, because everyone on this team has come from either been homegrown on this team or come from a team that has like some structure to it. And then Neo, you guys pick up from, what was it?
Mystic Academy.
Mystic Academy, who, not to flame them or anything.
No, they're bad.
We're not like, the best team. So, I mean, what was like the biggest, what do you call it? The biggest kind of like growth period that you had to work with for Neo?
I mean, just adapting to his roles, because like, I mean, he's not really used to those roles, because I'm pretty sure he's on entry for Mystic Academy. So, and Spiff's roles, like Flex, Sledge, are like kind of difficult roles, and it's kind of a weird role to play. So once he gets used to those roles, which he's doing now and doing great, then I think we're just unbeatable. And once he's hitting the shots and doing his role correctly, we're good.
Gotcha. Well, it's certainly been a tough series. I believe you guys play S2 for your first playoff game, and they have been lights out with BIOS. That's certainly going to be a challenge. Ambi, what a series. Congrats on winning it. Congrats on going to playoffs, and I am really looking forward to your first game.
Thank you.
Have
I'll
a great night.
You too. Shout out, rest.
I love that guy. Joe, there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, that was our final game of Swiss. We now have the playoff bracket completely figured out. And actually, it's something we didn't talk about. I remember we were talking about whether or not we wanted to talk about it beforehand and then never brought it up. So we use a tiebreaker system that's sometimes used in Swiss called the Buchholz tiebreaker. It comes from chess. Basically, what you do is it actually weighs the opponents that you play. All the opponents you play, win or lose, you take their point totals, add them up, and you get your Buchholz number. Because Arial Arise won this game, previously, Wichita Wolves and Astralis both had 9 points, both had a Buchholz of 33, and because Astralis had a better round differential, they would have been the higher seed. They would have finished in 6th place. But because Arial ACAD won this game and Wichita Wolves played them in the past, WW now vaults Astralis into 6th place. So we literally had to wait till the absolute final game to figure out seeding for the bracket.
Which is awesome. Love that.
I love that we have like a proper tiebreaker for Swiss now.
And I will say, looking at all of these matchups, there's a couple that really, you know, I mean, quite honestly, all of them. Except, I mean, look, you have S2 at AAA. That's going to be a great game. AAA with an 8 seed, they've had their flaws, and S2 we haven't seen in a minute. And to me, whoever wins that game is the best team in T3.
Absolutely.
Plain and simple.
Absolutely.
Just whatever happens, that is the best team in T3. LG Parabellum. Parabellum's shown their weaknesses, but they bounced back in a really big way, and LG have looked pretty good and bad. I mean, two kind of inconsistent teams at the moment, but we know how good their ceilings are. Astralix, OXG, I mean, dude, that could like realistically be a playoff match in SI.
Yeah, like both of these teams have ruled NA at one point or another. So,
and then RTV and Wichita Wolves. I mean, obviously, I would say RTV heavy favorites in that game, but Wichita Wolves with Fish, we know how good he can be. We know how good some of the players on that team can be. So definitely some upset potential right there. And looking at all these games, I mean, come on now. These are going to be some pretty big games. There's going to be some bangers going on over here.
These are not games you want to miss. I mean, I think Reality TV, Wichita Wolves, probably the most one-sided here. I definitely agree with S2, Arial ACAD for like the title of best in T3. But it'll only be our second time seeing S2 in a best of 3 setting, and one that was really, really, really close against Reality TV. So that's sure to be a fire series. If Arial ACAD are playing like they do now, I think S2 take that. I think Reality TV wins their game. I think OXG are currently looking a lot better than Astralis, and I'm not gonna lie, I think LG beats PV.
I actually don't disagree with you.
Just throwing it out there.
I don't disagree with you for the moment.
Gut feeling. Gut predictions right now.
I mean,
these start.
Not...
When the hell did they start?
Asian revenge game? Question mark?
Oh, that's true.
I just realized that. I just realized that.
I forgot about that.
I forgot about that too. It just like came up in my head. That's a good thing to note. That's definitely a good thing to note.
That's huge. Wow, I'm
really
excited for every single one of these games now, and I'm sure you guys are too. The schedule, of course, 2 playoff games going to be played on Tuesday, 2 more played on Wednesday, our semifinals on Thursday, and our grand finals on Friday. So we're going back to back to back all 4 days next week, Tuesday to Friday, starting at, I believe, 6 p.m. Might be 5 p.m. actually. Because it's 2 best of 3. So we might be starting at 5 p.m. Remember to keep your eye on the Twitter for those times. Joe, thank you for being on this wild and crazy roller coaster of a game that was. Thank you all for sticking through it. I'm sure it was a hell of a show. Remember to stay tuned for next week. Come back on Tuesday because it's only going to get better. I'm Crow. This is Joe. That's the end of Swiss. We will see you on Tuesday.
Oh.
Bye.